Good afternoon again, everybody. Very warm welcome back. We are in Boston today with the new FlyTampa scenery, of course, recently released from the fantastic developers at FlyTampa. And one of my favourite parts of the United States to visit as well. That and San Diego, my top two absolute favourite places in the US. Really nice to see some remarkably nice scenery in Boston as well. Of course, really nice tower as well. We're not going to be using jetway today though. There are a couple of people exploring potential crash desktops in relation to the use of jetways at the scenery. So, who knows? We're going to board with steps. Two sectors today as well. And if you are tuning in perhaps for the first time, a very warm welcome to you. I hope you enjoy today's live preview of the PMDG 737. Matt Jack, hello folks. We've got loads of channel members in the live chat too. So Mark, a very warm welcome back. It's been a long time. Glad to see you well. Good chatting with you the other day as well. It's nice to hear from you. A lot of animated people around the terminal buildings here. In fact, if we take a detour, I wonder if there's much of an interior. I've not really explored this too much. There is. So there's bits, which is nice because it's a huge airport and it would be pretty catastrophic for performance otherwise. I think that lady there was one of those shapeshifters. She can go through the walls. Lots of animated people, some nice glass textures. It's low poly in areas where you don't need it to be particularly detailed. And there we are, parked up on stand Bravo 26, ready to go with the 737-700. Matthew, hello to you, and David A, J Bay, Mark Smith, Jay Newbury, Kevin, Gav, Dursey2, Jonathan, hello folks, welcome to all of you. I hope you're all having a good week so far. Of course, 1st of May today. Hopefully, no Maydays. Terrible joke. Look at this. We're in the old merger livery of the United 737, and it looks fantastic on the aeroplane, doesn't it? And of course, yesterday, Leonardo Software House released the Mad Dog, the MD-82 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So hopefully, you're all enjoying that. I've not yet checked it out, but I do intend to in the near future. And the BA-146 as well from those folks at Just Flight has now been released as well the day before. So we're having a great couple of weeks for Microsoft Flight Simulator. PMDG have potentially said that this is going to be released this weekend coming. So, you know, potentially we've got less than 7 days to wait for this remarkably good aeroplane too. So fingers crossed. The FD bug, Willem. What do you mean? Dursey2's enjoying the delights of the 146's 260-page manual. Amazed Taste, hello, welcome. Aerodynamic Simulation. It's available for previews at the moment, which is why we're enjoying it at the moment, and we're kind of testing it out as well, pre-released. Matthew, yeah, you're in the Leonardo MD-82 as well. Meter. Going to give us an honest review of the MD-80. Right, let's work through some of these checks just to get up to date with the pre-flight and before start checks, and we're going to go through our route and things too. So parking brake is set. I've noticed this Boston scenery is pretty heavy on performance. Park brake set, battery standby power, and emergency exit lights are on auto, and the guards are closed. Ground power is connected at the moment, and the lights are as required. We've got POS on steady, and that's the only one we need at the moment. IRS, which confirm they're both set to nav, they are, and they are aligned as well. We can go through some of our sort of failure tests and ground proximity warning system tests and stuff. And if you did see my RNAV tutorial into Santos Dumont that went live, I think yesterday, about 1 o'clock, then do check it out. Really nice approach. Can highly recommend both the scenery and giving that approach a go. But if you do want to inhibit the GPWS with the terrain like we mentioned during that video, you can just flick the switch like so and you'll get the inhibit warning on the nav display. Same with gear and flap warnings too. Meter, yeah, I will give an honest review.
Slow. Pull up.
Simple
Boston traffic, American 1354, pushing back from San Bravo 85 RP,
Pull up.
Cool, and we've gone through a number of the other tests as well, like the APU fire tests. Like so, and you can do the oxygen test too. So passenger signs, we make sure they are on auto. They are set to auto at the moment, and electric hydraulic pumps are on. Yaw damper is on. Window heating, 4 switches up here, and they're green, they're on. And the left aft fuel pump can go on as well. We've done that too. APU start. Akazato, I love it. As much as I love the 146, I've got a big soft spot for the MD82. May or may not manage to make a sound pack from P3D work in MSFS. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard the sounds for the MD82 leave a little bit to be desired. Eucalyptus Tea, this is one of the included liveries when the 737 does release. You'll be pleased to know this and the modern version of the United livery as well, both included. Willem, interesting. Well, hopefully we don't get that today. Flight level 300, it's our cruise altitude and our landing elevation into Washington Dulles, 300 feet.
Alpha from Bravo 24 above.
Got about a minute to go until we turn APU bleed to the on position. Engine bleeds 1 and 2 on this cold and dark GPU startup are already on by default, but we can turn them off just for, I guess, muscle memory, turning them on when the engines are on. Packs are on auto and the isolation valve is open, so we want to set the FMC and obtain the clearance and things as well. So down here we've already completed boarding and all that sort of stuff. If we go to FS actions in fuel, you can see we've got 5898 kilos of fuel, almost 30% full on the tanks, and the payload 141 passengers and about 3.2ish tons of cargo, giving us a load level of 91.2% and a zero fuel weight of 53.7 tons. With that in mind, we can close the door. And on the ground services, now we've transitioned across to APU, we can check up here the APU generating power and stuff like that for the aeroplane, and then we can release the ground power carts and get rid of that. And we can release the stairs then as well. So the ground equipment's working away and getting away from everything else. Frames are a little low at this this FlyTampa scenery. I have noticed I'm probably about 25 frames per second at the moment, which is really weird. Yeah, 25 frames per second, dropping to about 22, 23 on occasion as well. But I guess it's a really detailed scenery, so it's to be expected. Flight level 300 for cruise, so there's our cruise wind for our average today, and our transition altitude of 18,000, standard in the States, reserve of 2.4 tons, and we'll just go with a cost index of 18. Let's have a look at the N1 limits. So takeoff 2 and climb 2 performance profiles, giving us a D-rated takeoff, 87-ish% N1. And for takeoff, we're going to aim for flaps 5. Harry, welcome on board. Thanks for subscribing. Commentator, hello, buddy. And centre of gravity for takeoff about 18%, giving us a trim required of 6.92. Again, this is an in-development beta build, so some of the sounds like the trim wheel aren't yet included in this. 6.92 wasn't it? So 5.
Boston traffic 1157, taxi to 27 via Alpha 2 Bravo Charlie Delta.
That's about that. 2 more clicks for good luck. And it's given us a V speed of 126 for V1, rotate at 130, and a V2 135. So V2 plus 10, 145. Yep, hello buddy. Enjoying the Connie then. It's good to see. Right, so let's have a look at Navigraph. So there we are in Boston. We're going to push back facing north. We'll then taxi Alpha 2, Bravo, Charlie, crossing both runways, well, 22 left and right, all the way down to Delta. We'll cross 33 left, down to Delta, line up 27. Gav, thank you very much. Cheers, buddy. From there, BLZZR 5 RNAV departure. So initially heading off runway heading at 272 degrees. So let's set that. (272), and then we're going to head 234 degrees to Kira before 278 degrees to BLZZR. And then we're going to head towards BAF, or the Barnes VOR 113.0, and then we're into the star already. Huge star, going stretching miles and miles into Washington. So at BAF, we're entering the star all the way down to Lancaster, LRP. From there, we're still continuing then into this section of the charts, down to 14,000 at Lurch, and then a hyper at 10,000. We'll dig further into this as we make our way into Washington, but yeah, that's an absolutely huge star to be flying. Spectacular flying, very good, thank you very much for asking. Keep smashing that like button while you're here, folks, as well, if you are enjoying today's live stream. Let's have a little look here. We've got an initial climb. 27, climb heading 272 to intercept course, 234 degrees to Kira, then on depicted route to BLZZR.
And Boston traffic, American 13.
Top altitude of 5,000.
Echo and Alpha crossing
initially,
22
and then
right,
we'll work up from there.
Delta and Charlie holding short 33 left. Boston traffic, American 1354.
Okay, altimeter set 3013, and it's same on the standby instruments, and transponder set. We've just set 2,000. Fueling, loading, boarding complete, and the takeoff data is now set. Cruise altitude, pressure panel, flight level 300, and the Lang altitude checked for 300 on the way into Washington. And we've just done the departure briefing, so flight directors 1 and 2 can go on, and we make sure the radio frequencies are set, and they are. We've got 122.8. We've also tuned the Boston VOR to nav 1 and the BAF VOR to nav 2 to assist in our navigation today. Yep, this is the first time flying, well, since I've been at work, so been back from work, I guess, so about 2 days, not noticed any flickering. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, doors closed, ground equipment clear, chocks away, and we're going to request push start. So let's do, we've got the parking brake on, menu, FS actions, ground services, wheels, chocks removed. Been over a minute, so let's bleed the APU. Pushback. Replan. Using toolbar pushback, you can do the self-drive PMDG tug, of course. Jar, thank you very much. One of my favourite places in the States. So I'll click there, so we get a nice straight line out of the stand. We can try and make a nice smooth pushback like so. We've got the Luke Air tool today as well. We're going to be enjoying some of the cabin announcements from United today.
This is ground. Stand by.
You're right, 3014 now. Thanks, Doc. Let's update the QNH, and I can see it just about in the box there. Let's bring the controls up. Happy days. Alec, hello buddy. Really good, thanks. Right. Anti-collision lights. On.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment
Oh boy.
removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
there is our first
We are cleared for start and push.
screenshot of the day.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Boston traffic United 1785, Boeing 737 on stand Bravo 26, altimeter 3014, push start face north.
Parking brakes are released.
And Boston traffic, United 1157, lining up at departing 27 on the BLZZR 5.
It will start in the sequence.
Okay. Let's get us started.
This is Logan, traffic Delta 1770, stand
So, fuel pumps
A320
on
start facing
as
east.
required. Packs go to the off position. Isolation valve check is open. Ignition mode on to both. And engine 2 start switch ground.
Boston traffic, American 1354, crossing
Monitoring the
runway 22
N2.
right 4 left via Echo.
Matthew, good old reverse thrust pushback. Love it. That'd be one of my favourite things to do in the Mad Dog.
Boston traffic, American 1750, taxi runway 27.
Ah, the JLP, don't let me forget.
Papa Delta crossing runway 4 left.
About
Boston traffic.
24-25% M1 now, so fuel control lever to run for engine 2, and we're going to watch both the exhaust gas temperatures and the N2's rise, and we're looking at the oil pressures and everything as well, making sure that it's all within limits and looking safe. Carson gets a stutter when touches down on the runway. Any fix? Ooh. Not sure what to suggest.
Boston traffic, Delta 1043, CRG 9 Charlie 20, push and
Bit of
start
the
facing
music.
south east on Alpha. Boston
Merkel,
traffic.
welcome. So we can hear that click on the overhead. You saw the warning light go out because the engine start switch for engine 2's reset to the auto position.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Boston traffic, then American 1354 is crossing runway 22 left 04 right via Papa onto Delta.
The pushback tugs just dropped us on the floor.
Okay, sir, cleared to disconnect. Pin has been removed.
And
See you
2's
at
at
the
20.
side. Have a good flight.
Holding position
There we
waiting
go.
for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Boston traffic,
Sometimes it's nice just to listen to the noise of the engines.
2500 on the BLZZR 5.
Jonathan, it's not good. Oh no. Right, we're going to let the engine stabilise a little bit. Just for a second. Okay, gens 1, 2 for the power transfer. Across the engines on and check, so going to check Gen 2. And Gen 1, lovely. We'll leave that on Gen 1 as well. Engine start switches back on auto, because we've got the auto ignition selected in the FMS as an equipment option. If not, at this point we'd put it onto continuous. And ProPeat can then go to the on position. Wing and engine anti-ice as required. Engine bleeds 1 and 2 to the on position. Back set to auto.
9F, runway 33 left.
Left and right. Isolation valve closed. Recirc fans set auto. APU bleed can come off. And we'll turn the APU off as well. Now we want flaps 1, 2, 5. Mikkel, hello. Wow, Meb for 8 months as well. Thank you for all your ongoing support there. Really appreciate it. We've got elevator trim is set and that's up. So we're going to do flying controls full and free.
Bravo 19.
You're going to see it from the outside. There we go. For some deflections of the animations, we'll do elevator and aileron. Lovely. Making sure our controls are full and free. engine instruments checked. Let's get rid of that. In fact, you could do your control surface checks here too if you want to. Make sure you've got full left and right like so. And you can see the hydraulics simulate there as well. And rudder. And our brake temps. So let's get rid of that lower display. LNAV and VNAV can go to armed. Like so. And taxi. So Boston Traffic United 1785 taxiing to runway 27 via Alpha 2, Bravo, Charlie, Delta and Boston Traffic. HK, welcome. United Safety Demo time.
Runway 33 left, Alpha 1, completing final checks.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us on United Flight. We'd like to welcome back our
brake
Mileage
test.
Plus members who are earning or using award miles on this flight.
Boston Traffic United
On today's flight, we have
Taxi lights on.
Bravo with the language bar worn on their uniforms.
And
At this
auto
time, we
brake
ask
set
that you direct your
RTA.
attention to the following important safety presentation. Thank you.
The right turn, we're going to check the compass and gyro and everything, so we're going to make sure that our nav display and the little compass there both rotate to the right and they increase, so does the standby instrument. Okay, so start at the PFD, increasing, nav display, increasing, standby instrument, increasing. And we'll do the same with any left or right turns. So we've got a left turn coming up, for example, we'll do the same with that too. We're checking basically that everything is working as we would expect them to.
Fasten your seatbelt low and tight across your lap.
Okay, so
Insert the metal
decreasing,
fitting into the
decreasing,
buckle.
increasing.
Tighten
Happy
the belt
days.
by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release
Max,
your
hello,
seatbelt,
yeah, it's
lift the
amazing,
buckle
isn't it? Thank you
flap.
very much for
When the
everybody tuning in
seatbelt
today. I
sign
hope
is
you are
illuminated,
enjoying all these
immediately be
previews. Hope you're
seated
hyped
and
as well.
buckle
Of
up.
course, the
To
PMDG
ensure
forum
your
the other
safety,
day,
your seatbelt
Robert's
should be
saying they're
fastened
really
at all
hoping
times
for a
when you're
release
seated.
There are 4 exit
this
doors
coming
Traffic
weekend.
1339, radio check.
and 4 window
MC
exits
Ninja, welcome.
located over the wing.
Good evening to you.
Each is
Your
equipped
readability
with an
5.
evacuation slide
Six.
that automatically inflates.
At
Each
Charlie,
exit is marked with a
crossing
sign
22
overhead.
right, so we're
Main
checking
doors
anything coming
open by
towards on
moving a large
both.
handle in the direction of the arrow.
Boston Traffic United
Open the
1785,
overwing
cross runway
exits
22
by
left
removing the
and
cover
right.
and pulling down on the marked handle. Be sure to jump into the
And
slide
Boston
with your
Traffic American
legs in front of
1364, departing runway 33 left.
you. When you're on the ground, move away from the airplane. In the event of a water landing, main door slides can be detached from the airplane and used for supplemental
Jay's airborne already,
flotation.
lovely.
Overwing exits should not be used in a water landing unless directed by a crew member.
Look around to locate the 2 exits nearest your seat. In some
Boston
cases,
Traffic.
Beautiful
Delta
runway
77,
textures, look at that.
Runway 270, Echo
In an
Bravo, Charlie,
evacuation,
Delta.
exit path
Boston
lights
Traffic.
will illuminate to guide you to an exit.
J-Bay, let's hope.
A life vest equipped with a water-activated light is located under or near your seat.
Boston
It
Traffic
can be
American
identified by a
1750,
red
crossing
tab.
33 left.
There's a
on Delta.
departure on a runway I didn't
Unless
expect.
directed by a flight attendant. If needed, pull the red tab to remove the
C-Bong,
vest.
you're most welcome.
Tear
Great to
open the
hear
pouch,
you've been enjoying the live
remove
streams,
and
buddy.
unfold the vest. To secure the vest, slip it over your head. Pull the straps from the back and attach the hooks to the ring in front.
I'll leave the strobes on because we're going to
Pull
cross
the
this
waist
next
straps
runway as well.
away
We're just
from
going to
you
check
until
right
they are tight around your waist. In an emergency,
and check left for
exit
the
the
approach.
airplane and only then inflate the vest by pulling down
We'll keep the
sharply
speed up a
on
little
one
bit.
of the red tabs. If additional flotation is needed, pull the second red tab. You can also inflate the
Boston
vest
Traffic
by rolling
United
into the tube.
624, taxiing runway 27 via Echo Bravo, Charlie, Delta. Boston
To
Traffic.
start the flow of oxygen,
Tail strike
firmly pull a
special.
mouse towards you to extend the plastic tubing.
Boston Traffic
Place the
United
mask over your
1785,
nose
clear
and
of runways
mouth.
22
Slip the
left
elastic
and
band
22
over your
right.
head and tighten the straps as necessary. Although the bag does not inflate,
And Boston Traffic
oxygen
American
will flow to
1354,
the
airborne
mask.
passing 3000,
Secure
climbing
your
flight level
mask before helping
360.
others and continue using until
Back to
directed
that
by
one.
a crew member.
United Airlines is a non-smoking airline. U.S. law prohibits tampering with, disabling, or destroying
27 departure is
laboratory
one of the
smoke
prettiest in the
detectors.
US.
US
I'll
law
try and
also
see what I
requires
can do with that.
customers to comply with all lighted signs.
Yeah, J-Bay,
placards,
that's the
and
only thing
number
really holding me back at the moment from the
Please ensure
MD-82
your
is the
carry-on
price.
items
It
and
seems
paper
quite
are
expensive, and I know this one is likely to be cheaper.
Runway 27,
Headrest
yeah, Alpha,
stowed, and your
Charlie,
seatbelt is
crossing
securely
runway
fastened.
04 left,
Be sure
04
that
right,
laptop
and 60
computers,
left,
cell
to
phones, and all
Delta.
personal electronics are turned off
Boston
and
Traffic.
properly stowed. If an
Boston Traffic,
emergency
United
evacuation
1785,
becomes necessary,
cross runway
leave all
33
carry-on
left.
items behind.
If you have any questions regarding safety, please ask a
Brandon,
flight
not yet,
attendant.
no.
On behalf of your flight crew,
we're only going to
thank
need
you
flap
for your
30 today
attention to
anyway.
safety.
Gavin,
It's a
welcome on board.
pleasure to
Thanks for
have you
subscribing
aboard,
to the channel.
and we hope you
Kika,
enjoy
we'll
your
deploy
flight
speed
on
brake when we
United.
get on the ground. And clear of runway 33 left. There goes the safety demonstration.
American 1750 taking off runway 27, Boston traffic.
So we would get the cabin secure, of course, from the crew. We're going to be at Delta, Blazer 5. In the A310, that'd be fantastic, Sean, won't it? Okie dokie then. Pre-departure checks and at the hold, we're going to go fuel, reset rates. These speeds are checked, 126 for our committed speeds, and NCP nav data and radios all checked. 5,000 initial climb, 145 V2 plus 10, runway heading 272 a set. Nav 1 for Boston if we do need to turn back, nav 2 for the one after the SID. Lots of water on the left, so if we do get an engine failure we'll probably end up turning left. If we can't return we'll be looking at the water, otherwise it's a big old built-up area for us. Taxi lights off, runway turn-off lights on, landing lights on, and transponder set TARA. Oops, that's not good, let's just hit the brakes a second. That's rather good timing, make sure we don't run off the edge of the runway. And TFC, click. Runway confirm, runway 27 right, Blazer 5 departure.
Boston traffic, Delta 1770, crossing runway 22 right, Boston traffic.
Boston traffic, United 624.
Hello pilot.
Crossing runway
Nope.
22 left, Boston traffic.
33 left, or 33 for the arrivals. Boston traffic, United 1785, lining up runway 27 and taking off Blazer 5 departure, Boston traffic. Clock press. David, no worries. We'll use as much of the runway as we can.
Boston traffic, United 670, crossing runway 22 right.
Make sure our lights are on strobe and steady as well, I forget. And we've got no warnings or anything. So. Nose wheel's nice and straight. We'll hold it on the brakes and we're going to set 40%
Boston
M1.
traffic, Delta 1770, crossing runway 22 left.
Off the brakes, push the nose
Boston
forward.
Traffic, United 624, crossing runway 33 left, Boston traffic.
Toga.
Boston traffic, Delta 1043, crossing to right on Charlie.
Make sure we've recentered the stick. D1. Rotate.
Boston traffic, United 670, crossing
Into the crosswind.
runway
Wow.
22 left.
That was awesome.
Positive reincline.
You're up. And we're now settled into this climb.
Boston traffic, Delta 1043, crossing to right, vacated on Charlie.
VNAV and LNAV are armed, auto throttles on. Let's go CMD on.
Boston traffic, Delta 1770, crossing runway 33 left.
Gear locked. Look at this. And speed brake.
Traffic, United 624, lining up runway 27.
Go Pats. Love Boston. The dude, welcome.
Boston traffic,
Going to
United
start to
670,
slowly work
crossing
at bringing our
23
flaps up.
Boston traffic, Delta 1043, crossing.
There's the
runway
Boston
22
CBD
left,
down below.
on Charlie.
Just monitor the speeds. We're going to go flaps 1 now. And we'll continue up from 5. We want to go, we'll go all the way up actually. 300, why not? Flight level 300 set.
Boston traffic, United 624, taking off runway 27, Blazer 5 departure, Boston traffic.
And we're going to set VNAV.
Boston traffic to left is vacated.
Flaps up.
Boston traffic, Delta 1770, lining up and wait, runway 27 behind departing traffic.
No green. Waiting for the little in transit there to go out, and then we'll make sure the green light doesn't come back on. There we are, and the runway turn lights off. Right turn. There we go. Spark, hello buddy. Absolutely loving it so far. It's such a great aeroplane.
Crossing to left on Delta.
Rosny, interesting. Do the 737s have brass fitted to them? I know the heads-up display can give you some sort of estimations of things. Right, listen to that noise, folks.
Boston traffic, United 624, clear runway 27. Flight 1,800 for 5,000.
How good does that look in that livery? Fantastic. Our second sector will bring us back this direction as well. We're going to turn around at Dulles and we're going to continue back towards Boston into Bradley International. Mikhail, no worries buddy. Hope you enjoy it when you catch up. It's just an airline option. Interesting. It's the runway sort of, well basically it's a system on Airbus, and it will tell you if you've got enough runway for what you want effectively, Mikhail. It'll tell you runway too short, go around and all that sort of stuff. Sam is the best. Honestly, how could you go back to X-Plane and P3D with this? You know what, it's a question I ask quite frequently. I don't know the answer to it because I've never used either of those, but when you see how fantastic Microsoft Flight Simulator now is with such incredible scenery, but also aircraft like the PMDG 737, which hopefully is releasing this weekend by the sounds of it. Just Flight 146, which was released on Friday. The Leonardo MD-82 released yesterday. We're going through a significant upshift in development and the quality of add-ons available in MSFS. In addition to, of course, the Flabois A32NX and the Aerosoft CLJ. There are passenger seats, yes, though in the cabin view that I've got at the moment, the wing views and things that I've set up, it doesn't have an interior because it thinks we're still in the cockpit using the custom view thing that I've done a tutorial for. But if you go to drone camera, we'll be able to see, you'll be able to bust through the fuselage and end up in the cabin.
Boston traffic, Delta 1770, clear runway 27.
Tibor, not in this option, no. However, the 600, let's leave those on. The 737-600, which is going to come in about 6 weeks from release of the 700, we're going to be pretty much looking at a no winglet option on that one, I believe, from what I've read. Never noticed the Funky Sharklets. Yeah, the split scimitar winglets. As Hare Silhouette saying there, PMDG have said that they're going to update.
Hold short runway 27, Delta 2, we're number 3.
They are going to update the data, the cabin interior and things. There's BAF already. We've got a TCAS for an aeroplane there, and we've got one ahead of us. Top climb just before BAF. And we're also pretty much then going to have to start thinking about our way in, I think, by the looks of it. Madness. Where are we at? Cabin pressure, let's do a check to make sure that is pressurising. It is pressurising normally. And we're going to work through, let's see what other announcements we've got. Have we got a crew released from the seats one?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying with us. A special thank you and welcome back to our global service customers, Million Milers, 100K and Premier
The JLP, that's I think a big one, isn't it? There's a lot of people that have invested heavily in X-Plane, so you're never going to win them across. They tend to be, well, some of them tend to be particularly vocal against MSFS, but when it looks this good, and you've got add-ons like this that are coming out to us all in the next week, hopefully.
Getting up to do our duties, we ask that you remain seated with your seatbelt
It's good, isn't it? And surely competition across the spectrum of simulators is a healthy thing for the community, because it's pushing the developers to excel themselves and update the products they've released. And so X-Plane Cut-Off coming out. Otherwise, they're left in the wash.
Or held securely on your lap. Please take care when opening overhead
Britannia,
compartments,
welcome.
as contents may have shifted during our takeoff. And when seated, always keep your seatbelt fastened. You may now use all approved personal electronic devices. As soon as it is safe for the flight attendants to be up, in all cabins we'll be offering
Big
you a
crosswind,
beverage
50
service
knots, straight
followed by
across
a
the
hot
aircraft
lunch.
today.
Our beverage selection is listed in the Hemispheres magazine. In United Economy cabin, beer and wine are complimentary, but there is a charge for other types of alcohol. The only accepted form of payment is a credit card. We accept most major debit and credit cards, as well as the Mileage Plus Explorer Visa card. Midway through our flight, we'll be offering you a light snack, and approximately 1.5 hours before landing in Tucson, we'll be offering you another hot meal service. On this flight, we have an exciting offer to apply for our Mileage Plus Explorer Visa card. Please ask a flight attendant
Brandon,
for an
it's a question that
application.
I was asking myself the other day, actually.
We
How
ask
have
that
they
you
not
use
found it so
lavatories
far? But
located in
you
your
know what? I
TA
guess
cabin.
it's a good thing it's been
Flight
found,
attendants
isn't
are
it?
available should you
And
need
it can be
direction or
it can be
assistance, and we
replicated,
thank you in advance for your cooperation.
and they're
Today's
working
entertainment
really hard
programming
at
is on
mitigating it.
demand, and this aircraft is equipped with internet for purchase. To learn more about this service, look at the card in your seat back pocket, the Hemispheres magazine, or turn on your Wi-Fi enabled device. In addition to the installed entertainment system, we have a streaming video service where you can
Doc,
access
thank you,
a
buddy.
selection of movies and TV shows complimentary by using your Wi-Fi.
I'm slowly learning it more and more, and I'm getting into the flow of
Just go to
the different stages of flight through the aircraft. I'm really enjoying this. Captain Britannia's asking how are the frames. For this overall, it is my best performing aircraft in the sim at the moment. It's better performing by about 5 to 10 frames per second on my system in general than the Flavois A32NX.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. On behalf of all of us at United and the Star Alliance Network, we wish you a pleasant flight.
Yeah, flat 40 mixed with a bit of a speed brake deployment, perhaps maybe when the nose wheel touches down. It's around about that sort of thing. It's difficult to say. They're not going to confirm what it is exactly until it's exactly pinned down. Right, we're already almost at Bath. We've got 30 miles to go, and then we're actually now entering the incredibly huge arrival route into Dulles. So we're approaching that VOR there. This is the star charts for Boston. Let's unpin it. We don't need it anymore. Let's get rid of it. And let's get rid of those. Now we're going to be in the Hyper 8 star already. So, down to 14,000 or so by Lurch. There we go. But again, there's a lot of waypoints to go before Lurch. Climb coming up. Let's recycle this, make sure our heading is following that. I mean, look at that, folks, for the difference between track and heading. Track is the white line, that's where the aeroplane is going, but the actual aircraft is pointed along that magenta dashed line towards the heading bug over there with a little triangle. That's because we've got an 85 knot crosswind, which is insane. Okay, so let's think about our arrival then. Departure arrivals into Washington, Dulles, and I've already selected it on the ground. So selected ILS runway 19er left. This is effectively what you're going to want to see on your own screens if you do fly this, and the Hyper 8. It's going to be a transition through Bath and a transition for the ILS via Dady. So that's what your screen will look like, and then you hit exec. And then it's warning us that we're going to be unable to achieve 250 knots at Hyper on VNAV, and that's, I guess, because of the way that we're going to be descending through this, but I think we're probably going to be able to achieve it. I can't see why we wouldn't. I mean, there's 9 knots difference on the VNAV there between Lurch bins and Hyper going to 250, so I think we should be okay. In the descent page though, we can go to the forecast and we get the QNH into, let's have a look at the METAR actually, KIAD. Winds are 050 at 5 knots, 10 statute miles or more for visibility, broken cloud at 5,000. Temperature's 12 degrees, dew point 08 degrees, and altimeter 3010. This is because I've got it set up in hectopascals, so I'm going to have to try and convert it. If there's an online converter. Hectopascals, QNH 10. 1019er. Thank you, Google. And there's our sort of forecast winds and things. It's telling us we've got 190 miles until top of descent. Let's have a look. There we are. So there's top of descent after Sarah. So we're going to sort of have a little look at Navigraph on the charts. If we go further into this, we've got to try and find... There it is. There's Sarah. So Sarah to Lancaster's 26 miles. Round it up, we'll call it 36, 46. Call it 45 miles to Durlow. 60 miles to Lurch. And we've got to get down to 14,000. So actually that's probably about right. Flight level 300, 60 miles down to Lurch, 14,000. And then after that we've got Bins and Hyper, 250 knots, 10,000 feet at Hyper as a constraint there. From that, we're going to go to the ILS runway 19, which has got its own transitions. So if we go to the, where's the star? We go to here, the little inset. From Hyper, we need to use this little box of the charts here. So we're going to go down to 19 left, which is this one. So Hyper to Oogle, Oogle below 5,000. Doc, runway change, 19 centre. Cheers, folks. Matthew, that's BDL, head to the left. Is that the one that we saw when we were on our wing view a minute ago? Oh, there it is. That is what we're flying into on the way back. Bradley International. Awesome. So there is our third airport of the day that we're going to finish the stream on. Touch wood. Don't want to jinx it. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Good shout. Oogle 5,000 and below. Litty or Lighty at 4,000. Yang at 4,000. And then it says Dady at 3,000 for ILS 190. Left, but we're going to change the approach now, so we're going to go Hyper to Cover at 7,000, Dimkey, and then Hoosier at 5,000 and above. Expect ILS or lock runway 19 centre. So let's change this. Departure arrivals 19 centre via MRB. Let's have a little look here. Approach. No, we don't want MRB. We'll leave that off. Hyper 8. BAF. Let's clear BAF off that. And let's clear Big O. Yorkie. Like so. Fix that. Okay, so what have we got here? Hyper, Cover, Dimkey. We're going to just make sure that we've compared everything on the charts as it is in the FMS. Hyper, Cover at 7,000. And 240 knots would make sense there. Although we might end up in speed intervention to slow it down a little bit more, nearer towards flap up speed. Dimke and then Hoosier. At or above 5,000 at 240 knots. ILS 19er centre. Hoosier. Voids. We'll leave that one in. Leave that one off. Okay. Okay, at 12.7, we want to be at 3,700 feet. In fact, it's just recalculated it on the VNav itself dynamically. Lovely. Oh, I know why. Because we'd selected... What have we got active here? Oh no, we've got 19er centre. That's fine, we're going to leave it as it is. We're not going to mess around with it too much. I think that was a historical message that we had. Philip, no idea about cost just yet. David A, you've got scenery for Bradley. If so, what are you using? It's the Latin VFR KBDL. Kevin, yes. Does anybody feel like Microsoft Flight Simulator has reverted back to the hyper whitewash on sunny days? You know what? I think it has, because I was spawned in the other day getting the screenshot for this today, and I was thinking, goodness me, this is really bright. So I think you're right. I don't know. Perhaps it's just the weather data again. Meteo Blue not maybe talking with it properly. Who knows? Look at this. Look at these beautiful split scimitar wings as well. That reflection. Oh, so good. Such a remarkable aeroplane in MSFS, I tell you. I can't explain how good this is to be flying. There's the wheels tucked away and sealed in the belly. It looks great, doesn't it? Matthew says the Dulles arrivals into Washington are horrible. They get so low, so early, especially on a north flow day when the wind's blowing out of the west. The turbulence off the Appalachian Mountains is horrendous on the downwind. People loving the reflections of the wings. It's good, isn't it? A lot of great liveries coming soon. I've been sent a WestJet livery as well, a bit of a special one. And also tomorrow we're in a special exclusive preview of a TUI Belgium livery for the PMDG 737-700. It's been painted by Steve, one of the official sort of painters and beta testers for PMDG. And I'm really looking forward to showing you guys that, because it is a stunning livery and we've got a cracking route set for tomorrow. We're going Marrakesh Menara, perfect soft studios scenery. Marrakesh, highly recommend it, wonderful bit of work. Back to the Aerosoft Brussels. Brow, it does indeed have contrails. It depends on the outside sort of air temperature and stuff though. But we do, you can see them there. Maybe it's better against the blue of the ground. There it is. Let's jump back in and have a little look, see what's going on. Thank you very much. Yeah, I feel absolutely honoured that PMDG have given us the previews, and also Steve is asking it. Well, they've sent me a couple of different liveries to sort of explore as well with you guys, to be able to show you some special liveries. Very exciting. I have to work to think about something for the WestJet 737-700 as well. It looks a really cool livery with a tartan tail. Very nice. .32's brain's about to dissolve on page 80 of 260 of the Just Flight 146 manual. Hey, it'll be worth it. You're going to smash it, I'm sure. I very much enjoy flying the 146. It's a great aeroplane. And the FMS is quite nice. It's got an EFB with SimBrief and Navigraph integration on the 146 too. Very intuitive, and the FMS is linked to the working title FMS system too, which is quite cool. Little airport down there on the bottom right of your screens. That is, I'm going to say Newburgh, but I'm just going to have to check. New York Stewart International. Nowhere near New York, but I guess if it was Ryanair, they'd be flying in there, calling it New York Airport. Nick, yeah, I've seen a couple of screenshots actually in Discord, people opening up the engine cowlings on the MD-82. Nice little couple of features there. Alarm, do you know more about the release date? So it's on the PMDG forums. Do check out their official forums. They have hinted that it might be getting released this weekend coming, so less than 7 days to go hopefully for this beautiful plane. 117 likes, thanks guys, really appreciate it. Ah, it is, it's an Asobo handcrafted airport, is it? So I can see LRP there. What have we got on the charts? It's a big old chart, and you can get quite complacent, and you can Lancaster, LRP, for en route transition, seat inset. That's fine. The star doesn't really start until Delro by the looks of it. Just check the nav data for lurch, make sure that shows at 14,000 and hyper at 10,000. Good, that's what we want. So that should be pretty good for us. We're going to need to set some VORs and things, I think, as well. So what have we got? ILS runway 19 center. Armel VOR 1135. 1135. We'll put that in nav 2, put it active, and we want the ILS frequency of treble 13. We might as well do this now before top of descent. Assists with the workload in nav 1 and nav 2. So treble 1.3, treble 1.3. We will arm those as we get a bit closer as well. Runway course 1901 degrees. Okie roll, welcome. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Fat fingers 1901, and we need to make sure the first officers or the nav 2 course is set and matching as well. 1901 degrees. Minimums for this are, well, it depends. Cat 2 ILS, $371, or 100 foot above the ground. At 1 ILS, $471. I'll configure for, well, I'll put a Cat 2 in, but I'll hand fly it in earlier. I'll turn the autopilot off about 1,000 foot again and hand fly it in. I do like to do that. Lancaster, Amish County. Ah, learning loads. Right, here we go. Barrow, 371. Now that's interesting. We've got an invalid entry warning on the PFD. Let's put that in. We'll change that nearer to the sort of runway as well. We can see in the approach reference page, it's giving us the runway length 3,505 meters, the ILS frequency 111.3. We can check that and make sure it does match, and we've got the same in the nav 1 and 2 stacks, and a course of 1901 there as well, which we've got in those nav 1 and nav 2 course boxes. Charles asking, how does a pilot determine the flap setting for landing? So it depends on the airports really. If you're in, for example, the Flabawat A32NX and you're flying into an airport like London Heathrow, then a lot of the time, because you've got a really long runway but you've also got some high-speed exits, you'll see on the charts comments about minimum runway occupancy time, and what that means is that they don't want you to sit on the runway and spend too long on there because of how efficient the operations at the airport need to be. So by setting a lower flap setting, i.e. landing flap 3 in the Airbus, or say flap 30 in the 737, you add a couple of knots to your approach speed, so you do land a little bit quicker. But in the end, overall, it will mean that you're on the approach for less time, and then you vacate a little bit quicker as well. You're on the runway for less time too. And most operators, unless it's a very short runway, like Burbank the other week, most operators are going to use flap 30 for the approach for the 737. There you go, Neil. Sums it up perfectly. The longer an aeroplane is on the runway, it can sort of mess everything else up, and time is money for airports and airlines. So I mean, if you see my streams into places like London Heathrow or Athens as well, really long runways. Indeed, if I was in the Airbus into Washington or Boston, I would use landing flap 3 config. I mean, you could, in theory, with a really long runway, you could potentially get away with flap 15. You know, or flap 25, but not sure why you would want to use flap 15. Flap 30 is plenty good enough. I reckon our invalid entry is linked to RK being added in there. User to RK showing 4.8 nautical miles. That's user. Probably about right. Yeah, the light bouncing off the PFD is lovely, isn't it? And you can see the dust as well. Let's go to the side profile of that. For that. Charles knows, very good question, thanks for asking. If you've got something like a performance calculator, it will tell you. What do we want to do as well? Fix rings. So, 10 miles around the Armel VOR AML will give us, well, that would be just before Enedi. At that point we want to be at 2,700 feet. Where's Femco? 5.8. That's roughly where we intercept the glide slope, apparently at 6 miles, 5 miles from the threshold. Interesting. I might get rid of Arky, even though it is the initial sort of finals. Tempted to get rid of it, but anyway, let's add this fix in, AML. And it is the VOR, 113.5, so we can check we've got the correct frequency. And if you've got the longitude and latitude, you can check that as well to make sure it's the correct one. We can select it. We want a 10-mile fixed ring around that, and heck, let's do a 6-mile fixed ring as well, because 6 miles we want to make sure we're at 1,500 feet to intercept the glide slope. So we'll add 2 of those in there. Ooh. Yeah, I did knock something up here a minute ago actually. Yes, there we go, that's why. Look at that. So if you go speed reference and you go out of V1 or V rotate or whatever else, you get the invalid entry warning on the PFD. See both of that. You put speed ref onto auto and it's got invalid entry. And it makes it disappear, so it's quite happy then. Set is okay. And you can go VREF to select 133 there as well. How cool is that? You can actually manually change the VREF yourself by clicking that. Oh, okay, that is so cool. See, the more I fly it, the more I'm finding these little things with the aeroplane that I'm really enjoying. And it just shows you the tiny little elements to it which just give it that extra bit of depth. Such a great aeroplane. Philip's asking, do we have any news of the Fenix A320? I think we all forgot about it. Yeah, you know what, I really don't know anything about it. I wanted to be part of the beta team, I wanted to have that opportunity, but never got selected. That's fine. Hopefully, they're making some great progress, and they're creating a wonderful A320, but we haven't heard much. The thing is, as Sean's saying, we've got the 146, which is an incredibly good aeroplane. We've got, released by Just Flight 2 days ago, we've got the Leonardo Mad Dog, the Microsoft Flight Simulator that was released yesterday, which I've not got yet, I've not tried yet, but I've been watching a couple of real videos that Matthew, in fact, one of our channel members in the chat today, sent me. And it's swooing me more and more. There's a lot of character on the Mad Dog, like the... on the MD-82 there should be 2 mirrors here, and that's because the standby compass is all the way back here somewhere for the pilots, and the mirrors have to be aligned for them to be able to see it in case of a nav display failure. So it's weird things like that which are quite cool with that aeroplane. So all these unique but highly complex and remarkably detailed aeroplanes that have been released, all within a week apart from one another. Days in the instance of the 146 and the Mad Dog. But it's also a lot of money for people to spend. At the same time, Fly-by-Wire are making exceptional progress with the A32NX, and that's a freeware project that doesn't cost any money. So, yeah, I guess it's a bit difficult for Fenix at the moment. Matthew's in heaven. You know what? I didn't see if I got you model matched as an MD-82. I hope I have. I think it's part of the AIG models. Yeah, the Milviz ATR, we're still waiting for updates about that as well, actually, since they announced it a little while ago. Sean Matapir, I guess it's because the 737 is 1950s tech blended with 1960s tech blended with a modern flight deck. So it's a bit like a patchwork quilt, I guess. Things have all been stitched on and added over time just to sort of suit the regulators and the airlines. And it's created this weird mishmash between manual old school flying and old school elements to it in the overhead panel, alongside some very new equipment. It's done you as an A321. That's weird. Team level, back wing view. How do you mean? You want to go to the back of, sort of in line with the APU exhaust in the centre of the aeroplane, perhaps? Talon, the 146 is being absolutely smoked right now. In what way? I mean, that to me is a bad thing, unless I've misunderstood. I really like it. But look at that. Absolutely mighty. How's that for a view? It does look cool, doesn't it? Okay, top of descent is coming up. Lolo, I love the 146, it's great fun. Very unique aeroplane, you can get in and out of anywhere. Right, descent. So arrival and weather data, we've got to make sure we've got that. So we're going to do a final refresh of the METAR. Winds are 150 at 5. In fact, the METAR's not changed. So altimeter 3010. Fat fingers 3010. That's set. Price point versus product quality. Well, it's 50 quid, and actually I think you get quite a good value for that. You get lots of variants, lots of liveries, and I think it is really nice. Sam is the best. Do you mind give us a peek at your settings? Probably not today, because somebody was mentioning about the Boston scenery. If you go to the menu or something, it crashed to desktops, the sim, so I'm trying to sort of do as little as possible outside of actually flying the plane today. Landing altitude, check. So the closest we can get is 300 feet. So we've got that set in the MCP, or the overhead panel, sorry, the pressurization of the aircraft. We've got... Where's my elevation data? Airport elevation is 313 feet. So that is the closest we can get. This is the first leg, Jan. Welcome. Explosive wants a peek at the failures menu. We'll have a little look in a second, just as I clear through this checklist. Radios are set with 122.8. At the moment we're still on Unicom, we don't need to worry about anything. And what else we got? Nav1 and Nav2 standby frequencies are set with the ILS frequency, and we've got the course set of 1901 on both of those as well. Wing and engine anti-ice as required. I can never say that. Lose my teeth every time. Make sure that's recentered, and MCP reset altitude. So we're going to descend along the star, Hyper 8 star, to initially 14,000. So let's set 14,000 for lurch, like so. Altimeter set. We've got that set in the standby. 3010 inches of mercury, and the minimums are set as well. 371 on the Barrow as well. Do you get a QRH for failures? No, I haven't actually, but I did a quick Google and I found a brilliant one. I can stick it into Discord if it helps people. Auto brake set as required. Our performance calculator today tells us use auto brake 2. So we're going to use auto brake 2 and flap 30 for the approach. And we're just going to make sure we have got VNAV path active, because then when we reach top of descent, the aeroplane will take itself down effectively. Approach. Yeah, see, there's a speed difference here. In fact, that might change again as we get closer. And if it does, nearer towards the approach, we're going to get a little warning pop up telling us that we've got to disagree. Okay, failure menu then. Menu, PMDG setup, aircraft, failures. So what you can do is you can turn service-based failures on. In fact, I'm going to turn it on. Let's do it. So at some point in the next 200 hours, while I'm flying this beautiful bird, if we don't maintain the aircraft, i.e. we cover the maintenance of it properly, clear the active, next service in 250 hours, in which case we need to service the aeroplane, or if something goes tech, we can just reset it like so in this menu. If we don't look after the aeroplane, then something will break. And that's where the quick reference handbook will come in really handy. But it's hundreds and hundreds of pages long. I have got one though, so let me show it you. Again, I've showed it, when did I last show it to you folks? It was on a stream a couple of weeks back, wasn't it? There you go. So that's my checklist that I've put on my website, britishavgeek.com/PMDG-737. Do check it out. You can download it for free. And all my tutorials for this aeroplane so far, covering all the basics, are on there too. This is the quick reference handbook. So, say for example, this is a quick action index. So these are the most frequent things, or the most severe things that need to be dealt with. Say for example, we've not been looking after the engines properly, and the oil needs replacing. We've neglected that. We can go to engine overheat warnings. We can click that because those two lights there have come on. So we can click engine overheat because that's what the lights would tell us here. Don't know if I can draw. I can, lovely. That's what that would tell us. So if we get either of those lights, we know that we have to select the engine overheat button on the aeroplane. Love that. And if they do come on, then we know through the QRH, the condition, an overheat is detected in the engine. So we have to disengage the auto throttle if it's engaged. We have to close the throttle for the effective engine. So effectively, it goes into idle. And we'll be flying on one engine at that point. And if the engine overheat light stays illuminated, we have to go to the engine fire checks. You click it, and it jumps you straight to it. It's a really good QRH. And then you follow those. Engine fire warning, airframe vibrations, engine separation. God, hopefully that doesn't happen. Probably not modelled. That's quite severe. And then you follow all of these checks as well. And there's quite a few. And that, if you follow them step by step, should either save the aircraft or at least help you get down on the ground safely. Matthew, just after LRP to the left side of the aircraft, which is what we're following now, you will see a set of islands just off the east shore of the river. It's the site of a nuclear meltdown. Wow. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3. That's the site of a nuclear meltdown. Just off the right, about 5 miles out. Okay. Stand by. There's... Oh, these. Wow, what happened? Neil, absolutely will, yeah. I'll stick it on Discord. How about that? Yeah, when are we going to get the gold frequent flyer version of the checklist with the golden lining? I can try. So my arrival calculator is actually telling us a VREF for landing of 130 knots. So we can expect it to change slightly by the time we get down. And there's no performance calculator included with it. What I'm using is, I think it's called VAS Airplane Toolbox. Folk on X-Plane might know the name of it. Doctor on board told me about it, and it is really helpful. Nuclear meltdown down there. Incredible. There's an airfield there actually as well. Is it still nuclear? You know, is there still radiation in the area? That is Harrisburg. Harrisburg International, in fact, where the islands are. Very interesting. Got any more screenshots? No, I've added the 6 so far on. I mean, there's this element now of paranoia because I know I've got the service-based failures switched on. Low, engine separation protocol, nothing. Keith, welcome on board. Okay, Lurcher 14,000. There's the bottom of, or the banana actually telling us. 3 Mile Island, wow. I'm going to have to read into that. Okay, so we're into the descent. We're going to monitor our checklist, and what have we got? Auto set, minimum set, approach has been briefed, auto brake set is required, auto brake 2. So we just need to set the local local altimeter QNH when we get below transition at 18,000 in the States. And then below 10,000, landing lights on, runway turn off lights, seatbelt signs on, and then we're going to confirm the ATIS. Look at this, we're getting some weather building now, lovely stuff. Let's get rid of the music. Here's some of the wind noises and the things for a bit, I think. Okay, so we were digging into the failures a little bit, weren't we? I'm conscious we're on the star, so I'm trying to monitor everything as we go. So you can get failure of auto flight. There's a lot of program failures across various systems, but here you've got 4. So at some point you can either have flight controls going up, A and B, or the auto throttle can go in up, in which case you're going to have to manually set the thrust yourself. The AFS can go in up as well. The manual for the PMDG 737 goes into quite a bit of detail, talking about what each one of these failure modes does. So do have a little read through that when it does come. Full of really interesting information, some tips from the beta team as well, getting the most from the aeroplane. Lurch at 14,000, hyper at 10, so let's just reset MCP to 10 now. We're going to go below transition. So we could set local pressure now, but I want to show you guys what happens to the PFD when we do go below it and we've not set anything. So the aeroplane does remind you. Is there an engine failure? If so, is it simulated? Kimbert's asking. It's a really good question I don't know the answer to. I've not actually tested it yet. Neil says you can work out the expected landing weight by deducting the gross weight and the difference between current fuel and the expected landing fuel weight. That's awesome. There you go. So it's given us a couple of 100 feet to give us a chance to click the button, but then we've got to about 400 below and it's gone amber, and it's basically telling us now we are not in the correct pressure setting. So there we go. We go to local pressure and it will clear away. Matthew, how did you get 25 miles ahead? Wow, good grief. Gravy train of aeroplanes going to Athens. Of course we'd pick the US, wouldn't we? Of course we would. Right, we're into descent now anyway. So, the Luke Air Tool have got some more descent announcements, I think.
And with the sound of those double chimes, our flight's be coming to an end.
Yep, these ones.
Please prepare for landing. Make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened about you. Your tray table.
Fat fingers, there we go. Seatbelt signs on.
And locked position. All video screens.
Thessaloniki, love it.
To be stowed at this time.
One of my favourite airports.
For those of you in Polaris First and Polaris Business, please press and hold your green airplane button on your control panel to bring your seat to its proper landing position. Also,
there is an engine failure option as well. Ooh, drag required. So that's telling us we're going to have to put the spoilers into flight detent. The airplane's clever, it's working everything out for us and it's trying to tell us what we need to do to get to certain altitudes at the correct speeds and at the correct altitudes as well, so we stay on
Please
path.
have a look around the airplane to refresh your memory of the location of your nearest emergency exits, keeping in mind your closest one may be behind you.
We'll get rid of that
Flight
for now.
attendants, please prepare the cabin
Right,
for
where were
arrival.
we? Failures. We're going to have a quick look
seat.
at these
We'll be on the ground
aircraft
shortly.
failures. Engine. So we go fire, programmed, engine 1 overheat, engine 2 overheat, engine 1 fire, engine 2 fire. Forward cargo fire, aft cargo fire. I'm very tempted for sector 2 to trigger one of these, but I might want to have a little look. Tampa Breeder, welcome. I will have a quick look at the QRH first to make sure it's something I can actually do, because I'm pretty useless at this sort of stuff when I don't know the aeroplane properly. We could do it until descent into Bradley, couldn't we? Order throttle disengage, thrust lever, affected engine confirm, close, start lever, confirm, cut off, engine fire switch, confirm, pull. The engine fire switch or engine overheat light stays illuminated. Engine fire switch, rotate to the stop and hold for 1 second for the extinguishing. If after 30 seconds the engine fire switch or engine overheat light stays illuminated, fire switch rotate to the other stop and hold for 1 second. The extra extinguishing. High airframe vibration occurs, continues after engine shutdown. Without delay, reduce airspeed, descend to safe altitude, resulting in an acceptable vibration level. If not, go to step 7, isolation valve close, pack switch off. APU bleed, air switch off. APU, if it's available for start, APU start. When running, APU gen for the affected side, switch on. Balance fuel as needed. Oh my god, this looks so complex. Plan to land at the nearest suitable airport. Not use FMC fuel predictions. Go to the 1 engine inoperative landing checklist. Plan for a flaps 15 landing. Set VREF 15 or VREF ICE, which is VREF 15 plus 10. Engine anti-ice will be used during landing. Okay, what we'll do is we'll calculate to see whether or not we can get in to Bradley with one engine. But I don't think we will be able to because it is a short runway. 10 coming up. Whoops, so that's good, that's on profile. Let's continue down to 5. And at 10,000, landing lights on, runway turn lights on. Double ding for the crew. We can see in the aircraft there depressurizing as we descend as well. It's the Luke Air Tool, it's on FlightSim.to. Look at this live weather coming in now, this is lovely. Here we go. I mean, look how good it makes the ground look as well. It gives that little bit more contrast, doesn't it, to the area.
Dallas traffic, American 1354, 20 mile final land of 19.
Looks and sounds great, doesn't it? I do enjoy this aeroplane a lot. And I always thought I was a bit more of an Airbus guy. But I love how immersive it is and how you've got to manage all these extra little systems. Oh, now look at that for a screenshot. Through the cloud. Split scimitars, bouncing away. 240. Let's get that back onto 30. Keep smashing that like button, folks. See if we can get to 200 by the time we park up on stand. There's the start of the approach. It's my missed approach actually as well. Missed approach, climb to 3000 via heading 1901 and outbound AML VOR to Iras. Intercept 13.3 DME from AML and hold at Iras. Actually, I was an Airbus guy, became a CRJ guy, that's now become a Boeing guy. Where do we need to be at 5,000 Huser? So, we need spoilers. The aeroplane was correct, drag is required. Them. User 7000, HyperX, Cover at 7, that's good. The aeroplane's actually, in fairness, the aeroplane is going to achieve that perfectly, and I was trying to kind of do otherwise. Yeah, for simming you get more out of this, I think, don't you? Into the clouds. Get terrain radar on for a second, just so we can see what's below us. We've got that dash line there for the runway course. So let's flick across nav 2 and nav 1 to the active. 111.3 and a course of 191 there, and it's got DME ready to go. The ATR for Milvis has gone very quiet, hasn't it? And I was thinking about that the other day. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, I sent an email off saying, "Have you got any updates for us? Any progress?" But yeah, nothing, sadly, yet. Aaron's Dream, welcome, buddy. Right, on to the continuation of the checklist then. Nav course and frequency. Treble 1.3 and treble 1.3, both active now in nav 1 and 2, and the course 191 and 191 are set, and we've got that confirmed to the top left of the PFD as well. Speeds, we're going to start working to reduce those speeds in a second. In fact, I might use this little bit of straight and level. Cancel that. I hope not, Yoep. Got a crosswind. Swan, afternoon. It's been doing a bit of general aviation with the Just Flight PA28. It's lovely, isn't it? Who's
Traffic American 1354, 2 miles to land, 19 right.
fact? We'll set 1-5.
Sorry, 19 center.
Dulles traffic American 1750, 6 mile final, runway 19 center, Dulles traffic.
Yeah, but done lots of flights to Corfu. Beautiful airport. Go back to flight detent. Let's go to the flaps up speeds. Turn that down a little bit there. And some final approach checks. Let's see, what else do we need to do just before we start to go into the final actual approach bits. That's all good. Probably put a bit of wing and engine anti-ice on through this cloud. We are in some partial icing conditions. The only problem with speed intervention is it kind of fights the VNAV path and it loses the VNAV path, but it's more of an MSFS thing than anything else. Go to 1800 foot per minute.
That's just American 1354, clear 19 center, taxi back to stand.
A little bit of flight detent. Get rid of the spoilers. There's the airport. Dulles traffic, United 1785 inbound. 15 miles ILS. Way 19 all right. Correction 1 on a centre. Dulles traffic. There's the glide slope. Not going to activate it just yet. We'll wait till RK. Let's arm it now. CMDB as well, and in fact I'm going to get the aeroplane slowed down to at VREF, which is 132. What's that speed retraction?
Dulles traffic American 1750,
Extending.
clear runway 19 center, Dulles traffic.
Lovely. Let's get it down. Let's get some drag. Flaps extension, in limits. Flaps 1 and 2. Let's go flaps 2. Lovely. That'll do us. Flap 5. Landing gear confirmed down. Spoilers armed. This is a sporty one, isn't it, for us? We're going to go, let's get rid of anti-ice, which is 1, 2, wing anti-ice off. Flaps 10. Well, let's go flaps 15. Flaps 25. Go around altitude needs to get set in the MCP. That's going to be 3000. Let's just level off here. We'll intercept the glide slope in any second. We'll go flaps 30. Dulles traffic, United 1785 established. ILS runway 19 centre, 5 miles. So flap 30, gear down 3 green, auto brake 2, spoilers armed, and we'll put those onto brake setting anyway. We were just reaching 1.5, alright there. Little bit of turbulence, wind's flicking around, making its own mind up there. Look at that, very variable actually.
1,000.
Look at that. Holy crikey. So we're going to have to watch that. Anyway, I like it when I fly it in myself. So let's get that off, get the auto throttle off. Make sure the thrust is set first, and we're going to clear the horns.
Dulles traffic United 670, established ILS 19 cent, Denmark.
500. 400. 300.
We're fine. This is a nice profile actually.
Inbound runway 19.
Approaching minimums. 100. Minimums.
Continue. Just gonna let that nose come
110.
up. Oh, hey. A little bit firmer than I would have liked, but to be fair, I didn't quite flare enough from what I could have done. Anyway, we're decelerating quite nicely and we're reverse green. Yankee 7, I think Doc said we've got to try and vacate on. I'll try to spot it. Look at that auto brake, reverse thrust certainly a lot more active now. And auto brake still working nicely. Let's go to manual brakes now. Both have gone on amber to show disengaged. Hey, I thought that was quite a good Boeing 737 touchdown. Dulles traffic, United 1785 have vacated 19 centre, Yankee 7 taxi to gates. Charlie 17 for the turnaround, wasn't it? So, crikey, where are we going? My God, where are we going? Midfield ramp, Yankee 7. Put those on, let's get the strobes off. Fuel pump, check. Let's get that on. And landing lights off, runway turn lights off, taxi lights on. Then I'm going to quickly look at the checklist to see what we've got. Auto brake off.
1339, 5 mile final, runway 19er, center.
Flaps, spoilers retract. I was descending a little quick towards the end. Where's my checklist? After landing, flaps up, speed brake retracted, and transponder set as required. We will leave it. Just turn alt reporting off. POS lights onto steady, landing runway turn off lights to off, taxi lights on, APU start, and bleed in a second. Probe heats can go off, and engine anti-ice as required. And auto brake confirm off. Clear the master caution, just in case we get another one. That's the to do with the APU. Have a little look at our brake temperatures there as well. They're looking fine. I'm trying to find. This is Flightbeam Studios, Washington Dulles, by the way. Available on Contrail. It's a lovely bit of scenery. That looks like Delta 21, doesn't it? Delta 21? It can't be Delta 21.
Dulles traffic, Delta 1770, 6 mile final.
How big is this?
19 center. Dulles traffic.
Dulles traffic, Endeavour 1339 going around runway 19er7 for center, Dulles.
Oh, we've got to go around. Look at that. Love those nav lights on the right on approach there. Looking spectacular.
Dulles traffic, United 670 vacated 19er
We got
center.
one there. We got one on a go around, one on a close final behind. Exciting. We've got to play our arrival announcements.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be taxiing for the next few minutes, so please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened and all items stowed until the seatbelt sign is turned off. Please make sure you have all of your personal belongings before you exit the aircraft, and be careful when opening overhead compartments. You are now free to use your mobile phones and small lightweight devices. On behalf of United, our Star Alliance partners, and your entire
we'll
flight
use
crew,
Delta 7, I think.
thank you for flying the friendly skies with us today. We hope you've had a pleasant experience, and we look forward to welcoming you again on another United flight.
Right, let's check the APU. Make sure transfer to the generators. Bleed in a second from the APU as well. We're going to pop this onto APU Gen. We'll check the figures on the top. Rijan, does the aircraft have a default checklist? You know what? That's a question I don't know the answer to. Don't think it does. Oh, it does. Look at that. There you go. If you want, you can literally work all the way through checklist here and tick it as you go. Thanks for asking. Great question. Gone past Delta 7. Oh god, I wish these stands had signs on them. Delta 1. Fantastic. Silhouette, it's a RTX 2070 Super. It is Delta 1 as well. Let's do a quick taxi to Charlie 17 then. At this point we can put the APU onto bleed. John, how much would this glorious aircraft be? I'm not sure, to be totally honest with you, but it is fantastic fun.
Dulles traffic, Endeavour 1339. We're about 3 miles west of the field, 3000 on downwind runway 19er center. We're set for the ILS 19 center.
17. Oh, there's the weird trucks I think somebody just mentioned in the chat. Look at that. Like a train. Anyway, here's Delta 17. Taxi lights are off. Let's turn on in. Charlie 17, sorry. Get me stands right. This is Flightbeam Studios payware. Washington Dulles scenery. It's the first time going to this concourse though. 737 line looks to be there, so if I draw an invisible line that goes beyond it, we're probably going to be there for the stop. Oh, so close. Okay, let's do a little bit more. My OCD will trip out otherwise. Sounds so good, doesn't it? That'll do. And actually, we've not listened to the engine shutdown sounds on the outside before, have we? So let's have a little listen. Let's get the drone into a nice position here. We'll use steps again. Okay, shutdown checks. We'll just we'll do the fuel control levers first. Happy days. Anti-collision lights off. And we're going to go menu.
Dulles traffic,
FS
number
actions.
1339, 4 mile final, runway 19er center. Dulles.
Ground services set. Chocks. In fact, let's get the door. Do air stairs. Let's do that. I like watching those. Here they come. Always fun. Neil, no replay sadly. I'm finding that SkyDolly's now giving me multiple crash to desktops. So, yeah, sadly no replay for us. There's the beautiful animation for the air stairs. And if we go to the doors now. There we go. What else have we got here? We can do... So what you can do as well if you want to is request the potable water and all that sort of stuff. You can also request your loaders, but it depends on your flight for the way back. I'm not going to worry about disembarkation or anything just yet, but we do need to make sure we've got our flight plan ready to go for the next sector. So United 1840 for the next one. Interestingly, SimBrief has logged me out. While I do that, let's see if we can pop up. Look how good this scenery is. Very nice. We've got many more on approach. Yes, look at that. Tower view. There's the touchdown zone somewhere there. While I just quickly work through this. So KIAD to KBDL. Got it 1840, we'll go for 1410Z for pushback, roughly. Nice little CRJ there, lovely. That looked like a very nice touchdown, didn't it? Go to Discord, we'll get the flight plan route that we had pre-planned earlier. SWANN Bros 49 to DPK, DPK3, perfect. We're going to go one liner centre, I think, for departure, is it? ATIS AIAD. Departing runway 30, brilliant. So we're going to change that, we'll make sure that's on 30 for the departure. Still the Jacoby 4.
Washington Dulles traffic, Endeavour 1339, we're clear of the runway, taxiing to the terminal. Dulles.
There's somebody over there. The old Piedmont A319, old school livery. There's a few more of the folk that have flown along with us so far today. And a couple of statics too, very nice. Where are we? There we are. Lovely stuff. Right, so we'll dive back into the flight deck then. Oh, Jay, fantastic. It's your brother flying along. Brilliant. Graham, hello, welcome. How'd you get the cabin announcements? It's the Luke Air Tool. Where were we? Let's see. So, fuel. I'm just going to make sure my VAS toolbox is refreshed for the ACARS. Download the latest route that we've generated via SimBrief. We've got the data. So total fuel 5643. So you can do it like this and it's a little bit quicker. You can call all of the ground equipment and you can set it and they go and do their thing, which is really cool. But if you also just want a bit of a quicker turnaround, so show you guys the other side of the turnaround if you like, you can just add it all in like so. So on a SimBrief there, I've added our fuel. It's instantly done it for us. It's instantly refueled the aircraft. And then here we want to set passengers 127. And cargo 3.2, which has given us a zero fuel weight of 52.1. So that'll do. Whoa, go 1500, so that's the upper limit then for that. So it's load level of 81.7, so we're a little lighter for this one, which is all good. So that's the payload done. And the fuel. We need to go init ref, route, sorry. And we added in the .rte flight plan file that we did before. If you guys remember the video I did the other day about how to import your SimBrief flight plan. Harry was asking, can you get stairs for the rear door? Yes, you can. I'll show you that as well, why not? So we can go stairs, we can request a passenger bus as well, we can go stairs 2 left. And you can also open entry aft left door as well. So it will look like this. Here it comes, the PMDG set of stairs. Some rear disembarkation and boarding, all the cleaning team as well perhaps. Route where we are. So we've imported the .rte and the .wx files from SimBrief for the flight plan for today's next sector. We can go flight plan request and it will find the folder and it's the IAD to BDL file like so. So all we do is we click it, hit select, and it's going to load in the data like so, nice and easy. And it's nice because you're not just importing it from SimBrief, clicking a button and having it all just appear. There is a little bit of interaction still required with the FMS, which is nice. ODG John, so it should work with the standard MSFS nav data. And don't forget, it updates the AirRack every month anyway, which is fine. The only difficulty you might get is if perhaps you don't have an up-to-date SimBrief AirRack, and it might then clash. So that's done, just load it. And it's loading in flight plan file that we added in a little earlier. Explosive is the missing SimBrief integration, the ability to link the route through only online rather than using a file. So it's using a file like the P3D version. However, that's only because there's no EFB yet. PMDG are working on a newer EFB for this aeroplane, and because of that, it's effectively missing at the moment. But that's fine. Actually, for some of these routes, I mean, to give you an idea of the waypoints, it is literally SWANN, Bros, Quebec 419 Airway, DPK. That's the route for today. So you don't need to import the route from SimBrief, in fairness, because these routes are small anyway, some of them. So it depends on the route. Sometimes it's quite nice to punch it all in anyway. What are we now? United 1840. There we go, perf init page. So we've done the new fuel load and the new payload. Let's request our new performance calculations. And our reserves, we need to work that out. So it's alternate fuel plus FinRes, final reserves. We'll round it up to 2.5, unless it's already in there. 2.4. Go 2.5. And our cruise, I think Doc said the cruise is a lot lower for this next sector. A lot lower, in fact. So let me just find out what it is. Trying to find it all. Here we go. Let's find it. So, filed flight plan altitude, flight level 270. And our cruise wind. Let's just edit the flight here. Altitude, flight level 270. Generate. I need to file it on VATSIM as well. Average wind 319 at 42. .126, so that is correct. M1 limits, we need to do a little performance calculations now. So takeoff calculator for this one, we're going to load it in, refresh on ACAS, runway 30 for departure, the METAR, and hit calculate. Flaps 5 for takeoff. The current planned takeoff weight is higher than the maximum landing weight, but that's fine. Unless it's refreshed how many passengers we're going to be using today. 127, 3.2. No, that's fine. So it's wanting. It's actually suggesting takeoff 1. We'll do takeoff 2. Climb profile 2. Why not? 93.5 M1 it's saying. But we're going flaps 5. And now we haven't got any V speeds, and that's because we haven't added departure. And actually, the first button we see at the bottom left is departure. The aeroplane is telling us here, you've missed a step. Please put in the departure routing for me to help calculate the V speeds. So, runway 30, Jacoby for departure. Transition via. Ooh, question. Where's Navigraph? Load in the new flights. Taxi, parking gates, airport, SID,
Dallas traffic,
Jacoby 4.
United 624 on final approach, runway 19 centre. Dallas traffic.
I'll assume it was SWAN, wasn't it? Let's have a look on that flight plan. It is SWAN, lovely. Execute. Legs page then, we're just going to make sure Jacoby, Grim, Suki, SWAN. See both of these. So it's departure, runway 30, so 301 to a 3320 degree heading at our teeth in, good grief. So we're going to use runway 30, initially fly heading at 301 degrees, and when we're at or above 820 feet MSL, we're going to turn right 320 degrees, followed by vectors round to Rignas. And then we've got Jacoby, Grim, we're going to break off to Suki, and then SWAN. Transition altitude 18,000, and here you can see the top altitude is 3,000. Climb on a heading of 301 to 820, right turn 320, or as assigned by ATC for vectors to cross Rignas at or above 3,000. All good. And then, before we know it, we're going to be working a descent in.
United 624, landing runway 19 centre for
Deer Park 3, or DPK 3, which is a VOR. There it is. It's north of Farmingdale, New York, and New York, Long Island, MacArthur airports. So actually, our route today might take us straight over JFK and LaGuardia. Could be quite nice. So Deer Park to Belt to Madison, expect 11,000, and then we're expecting the ILS runway 06 approach into Bradley. Taxi, let's see, what is the runway length here? 2899. Now, who knows the 737 really well? Can a 737-700 land at an estimated landing weight of 55.2 tons on one engine and stop in time there with that aircraft runway length? There's a question for you guys that know it really well. Tailwind departure, that's why. Okay, fair enough. We haven't yet committed to it, so let's set takeoff 1 then if we've got a bit of a tailwind, and climb 2 for performance. 91.4. There's our V-speeds. Arrivals, Deer Park 3, via the Deer Park, ILS 06, transition via Penn. Penna, yeah, perfect, that's what we want. Transition via Penna. Execute. So we've got a whole route now, including our arrival. Briss to Penna, there's a discontinuity, so we're going to make sure we put in Penna here. Connect the dots, and the discontinuity's gone. Lovely. And there's our missed approach data as well. Climb cruise flight level 270. While we're here, let's set it in the box. And our landing elevation into BDL, airport elevation of 173 feet. So that's smack bang in between the two. I'll probably go for 150. In fact, the performance calculator will tell us. Landing altitude, or standby. There are 6. Landing altitude, it's telling us set 200, so we shall set 200. Lovely stuff. Give me those numbers again on the landing, Matthew. So, 1 engine, and an estimated landing weight of 55.2 tons, and the runway length is the usable length. (2,899 meters). We'll call it 2,800. Shrimpy, it is payware. You will have to buy it, unless you're a crook. Right, where are we? Kimber, it's Navigraph, and it's payware as well. Navigraph charts, you can highly recommend it. The full Navigraph Ultimate subscription for the entire year is very worth it, and it's actually cheaper than paying for it monthly. Yes, it can easily do it flaps 15. I assume it's max auto brake, Matthew, as well. So shall we try and trigger an engine overheat warning for one of the engines on the way, and we'll see what happens. Where are we? We're on turnaround here. So passenger signs, we've reset auto. Check your dampers on. Window heat on. APU bleed with the left aft fuel pump as well. We're going to leave, well actually we've left those pumps on. And packs are on auto. Isolation valve needs to be set to the open position. And altimeter set. Transponder set, fueling, loading, boarding complete, takeoff data is set as well. We need to set our V-speeds because we've not done that. 133, 143. Runway 30, which has a heading of 301. And I need to continue setting our flight plan on VATSIM, so I'm going to pre-file this now, United 1840. Flight plan filed, so let's disconnect from the VATSIM network and we're going to reconnect as United 1840 instead. Happy days. 4,239 foot required with max manual braking into Bradley. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's half the runway still. Well, the beauty is explosive is you won't know if it's going to be just an engine overheat, which will then solve itself, or if it will develop into a full-blown fire. But we'll arm it before we after we take off. Actually, we'll do it after we take off. Tranquil, no updates yet. We'll have to wait for RSR to sort of say it. whether or not it's defeated. Let's pull in flight plan, fetch from server. Need to do the landing rate manager now as well to make sure we've got our new flight plan route. Fetch from SimBrief. Set active plan. We're going to fix for Lanta. View the flight. Let's start a new one. Looks like we're going through New York approach. Oh dear. I mean, the only thing is, if we... Where is it in relation to that? The only thing I'd be conscious of is becoming a problem whilst flying through his airspace. That's the only thing that I'm kind of being a bit reserved about. United 1840 BDL. Night Shepherd, hello, really well, thank you. Right, where are we? Let's go back to the checklists now that I've updated everything else required. Takeoff data set, cruise altitude, pressurization panel for flight level 270, and landing elevation is set. 3000 for the initial climb, which we'll need to wind up quick afterwards. We're going to reset flight directors. Radios frequency sets. So I'm just going to have a little look at the charts for our departure today. Jacoby 4, there's no VORs to think about. There was a VOR 135, yeah, AML. So we'll leave that tuned into number 2. Nav 2. Doors closed, let's clear the ground equipment.
United 1946, push and start from Delta 7 to Charlie. Delta.
Actually, if we go to manual pushback, we can spawn a pushback tug. And then we're going to pre-plan the pushback.
American 1300 pushing back Bravo 73, Dulles traffic.
Where's runway 30? So we're going to kind of taxi probably all the way around there. And I think I broke it. There we go. Oh my god, how do you reset it? Let's see. Click and drag to move waypoint, click place for... Press backspace to remove last set waypoint, lovely. Charlie 17. I have no idea what this is doing, but hey, I was fiddling with it. That looks about right, doesn't it? We'll take a gamble. Love it. Okay, ground equipment. Let's release the stairs. We need to close the doors. And retract the air stairs. Pushback facing west. Brilliant. So now you're telling me I've got to change it. Fantastic. Let's see. Cancel. Ah, look, we fixed it. Yeah, I've noticed it's been acting a little weird through Sim Update 9 as well, actually, it has to be said. So I'm glad you just said the same thing, J-Bay. It's been doing some odd things, hasn't it? Let's clear the ILS frequency out of this box. Or plane's going to get confused. We're going to go to map mode.
Dulles traffic, Endeavor 1331, we're pushing back on Delta 23. We got the traffic in sight. We'll watch you.
Where were we? I've lost my flow. Here we go. MCP altitude set, flight directors on, radio set, anti-collision lights on, request push start clearance. Fuel pumps also required. So
Dallas traffic, 1946, taxi runway
Chucks off.
300, Charlie Echo Yankee 11. Dallas.
moved. There's the little tug. And let's go. Got a new liveried United flight there. Dallas traffic United 1840, stand Charlie 17, push start face west. Dallas traffic. Oh, there's quite a few of you saying the same thing in the live chat then in relation to this. Good to know.
46, taxi via Delta Yankee.
Love it when these things happen, because then you guys will say the same thing and I know I'm not the only one. And then it means I'm not necessarily doing anything to break it. It was nice. Okay, so we're waiting for the pushback tug to get in position. In fact, he's in position now. It doesn't sound like we're going to be getting any announcements or anything. That's fine. Let's take the park brake off. That means we're going to have to go back into here because it's holding. So there we go, we can unlock the hold. Fuel pumps on as required. Packs go to the off position. It's not high. There we go. Ignition mode selectors on both. Engine 2, start mode, ground.
Dallas traffic, Blue Streak 1056, pushing back from Alpha 23.
Make sure that engine button there is on for the second display. Fuel selector mode on.
Dallas
6.52 for trim.
1770, pushing back onto Foxtrot.
Oh wow, look how high the trim is there from our touchdown, 6.52. Be nice to hear when the sounds go in for this. About there. Pushback's looking nice. Waiting for the click, there it is. We're going to bring this in as well, just so we can see our departure a little bit in more detail. Captain Rish, welcome. You are in time for leg 2. Mission. For engine 1, start switch now go ground, and we're going to watch the engine N2's increase for that. What do you reckon? Shall we, let's set up a poll. There's a poll. You guys have got now until we depart to decide. I don't know if that's a good thing. Okay. Fuel control lever for engine number 1. The run position. Hammond's fillings fell out on the landing. Well, we'll give you a claim form. Go and get some new dentures. Bar brake set. Has he gone? He did, he buggered off before even the bar brakes were set. Definitely one for a company memo. Okay, so that's reset itself. Let's go Gens 2. Gens 1. Check both of those. We'll leave it on Gen 1. Get the packs on. Engine bleed, sorry. Them packs. Isolation valve. Check recirc fan in auto. Isolation valves on automatic. APU bleed off. Wrong button. There we go. Off. Keep putting that the wrong way. Flaps as required. We want flaps 5. So, by the way, watch this beautiful animation. Very nice. I like it. Elevator trim as required. Flight controls full and free. So let's go to the status page. Full right. Full left. Elevators fully forwards. Full to rear. Right rudder. Left rudder.
And Dulles traffic, United 1946, lining up departing 30 on the Jacoby 4.
Engine instruments checked. Let's get rid of that page. We've got flight directors 1 and 2 armed. Auto throttle arm. LNAV arm. VNAV arm. Like so. West taxi. We're on UCOM, so let's go taxi lights on. RTO. Flaps are in position, and we're going to go Zulu and then Yankee 11. Dulles traffic, United 1840, taxi to hold point, Yankee 11, runway 30 via Zulu, Yankee 11, Dulles traffic. Oh, Jay, don't say that. Could you imagine? That's going to be horrendous. Holy moly. I hope that doesn't become a thing. %20 of people saying no in the votes. That's very kind of you, thank you. We'll have to keep smashing the likes as well, see how high we can get those. We're going to quickly refresh the meta, make sure we've got the latest data.
Dulles traffic, American 1300, lining up runway 30, Dulles traffic.
3009 altimeter.
Dulles traffic, Delta 1770.
There goes one.
Taxiing to hold point Yankee 11 via for runway 30 via Echo Yankee 11. Dulles traffic.
Oh, does he to enjoy? Especially, could you imagine? Look at that for a departure.
Taxiing to 30 Yankee 11.
Oh, is it frozen?
Zulu.
Thanks, Dwal. Could always rely on you to let me know Fly Live has broken once more. Oh, safety demonstration. I won't bother with it. It was rather long before, wasn't it? Okay, IAD to KBDL. United 1840. Oh my god. This guy's coming now. They're taking it in round robin to try and get us.
Dulles traffic is United 1946.
Get across before they come back again.
30 at 3000.
Glad we stopped in time.
Final call, United 1946.
That was a brake check. We can tick that off the checklist now. So that is an MD-82. That's one of the. That's the Mad Dog that Matthew's in. So he's displayed as something else. Look at that, he's using like most of the runway. Good grief. Control lock. Go. Wow, he actually has used most of the runway. That's awesome. Okay, on to Yankee 11. Zulu, I should say. That's clear. APU's switched itself off. Oh, probe icing. Oopsie. Good job I spotted that. Probe heat on. See, if you don't follow the checklist properly, you do miss items, and you don't want to do that. Wait for the whole runway, might as well use it, yes. Lambo, PMDG have sent me the preview of basically offering me the opportunity to preview it to you all. got a very nice special one tomorrow. We're in a very special, brand new, fresh from the paint shop, Chewy livery as well, Chewy Belgium. For a flight from Marrakesh Menara to Brussels, Airsoft's wonderful Brussels airport. So tomorrow's preview stream is going to be really nice. First time ever this livery, the Chewy livery's been seen. I feel like New York Approach might end up trying to get us to contact them.
Gulf traffic, Delta 70 taking off runway 30 to Kobe 4 departure. Gulf traffic.
Got a flex of. It was cool to watch. I just wish I had the MD-82 to match.
Endeavor 1331, we're positioned and hold on 30 Yankee 11 Delta.
He's off. There next. Go behind the CRJ. I'm actually going to set maybe like 5,000. Camera's fantastic. Look at that. Away he goes. Night Shepherd I did, yeah, I made it just in time for work. We cut it fine, didn't we? Drifting away from the yellow line there as I'm swiveling the drone camera around. Oh, look at that. Got to get a picture of that one, a screenshot of that.
Dulles traffic, Endeavor 1331 on the go, runway 30. We're climbing via the SID, Kobe 4, Dulles.
Okie dokie. Pre-departure checks at the hold. Reset rates for fuel. V-speeds checked, 123 for V1 and our V2 plus 10, 143. MCP nav data radios are all checked, they're pretty good, I'm happy with those. Let's go. Boss lights onto strobe and steady. Taxi lights off, runway turn lights off, landing lights on. Runway turn light off, lights on, I should say. Transponder set TARA. Order clicks all the way around and traffic. Runway confirmed, runway 30 and the go before departure. And it looks like the CRJ is well airborne. Dulles traffic, United 1840, lining up runway 30, go before departure. There we go, let's make sure we've got that nice and set. We're just going to give that aircraft a couple of more minutes. I say a couple of more minutes, I mean a couple more seconds. Angelo, you can't yet, it's not available. Hopefully it'll be available this weekend. Make sure I've got my charts ready. Okay, set 40%. Dulles traffic, United 1840, taking off runway 30 Jacobi 4. Dulles traffic. Off the brakes. Toga.
Dulles traffic, Blue Street 1056 lining up 30 Dulles.
Take the pressure off the nose wheel now. V1. Rotate.
V2. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Oh boy, look at that. Ooh, as we go into a very steep bank there. That's better. Got a watcher. You can spend all the time in the world taking lots of images and things, but you've got to be careful on the departure. Okay, let's hand fly this for a second. It was after departure 320 degrees, so let's set 320 on the heading. CMD, LNAV, BNAV, continue. Rigners, let's go direct to Rigners. And round we go. Flaps up. Dulles traffic, United 1840, airborne 4,000 feet.
$10.56 rolling 30, Jacoby for departure, Dulles.
Pressure panel. So let's do a quick rerun of the after takeoff checks. So autopilot's up, gears now off, auto brakes off, engine start switches, we just make sure they're still both on auto, they are, and flaps have been retracted as appropriate. I'm at 250 knots towards our cruise, flight level 270. Cabin pressure, we check pressurising normally, it is. And as we go through transition, we're going to set standard pressure, through 10,000, landing lights off, seatbelt signs as required. Oh, Doc, yeah, you're right, I keep forgetting that. Okay, well there's the poll. 130 people in that time. Ooh, 70 odd percent, 73% I think it was. There we go. What's going on with the gear lever? Nothing. God, you had me worried then. So basically the gear lever, you turn it to the off position after you've retracted the gear. What it does is it turns off the hydraulic system.
Dulles traffic, United 722, pushing back.
Okay, so
Dulles traffic.
PMDG aircraft failures. Fire. Programmed. Engine 1 or engine 2? Engine 2 overheat. Armed. Activate in 30 minutes. Oh my god. What are we doing?
Dulles traffic, Booster 1056 is leaving 6,000, climbing via the SIM. Dulles.
We might as well enjoy the calm while we can. Engine 2. We're active. Now it's a ticking time bomb. At some point in 30 minutes, we're going to get the engine overheat warning. And if we don't deal with it properly, it could develop into a fire. Who knows? We've got the quick reference handbook anyway. And in fairness, I can, let's see. Let's go straight to emergency descent, engine fire, engine fire. Engine overheat. There we go. So I've got the page ready when it does go. Which kind of does defeat the object of it being surprise, but I guess we're just doing it to see what happens. Alternate is JFK. Which is a big, nice long runway. However, BDL, with the calculations that Matthew did a little earlier on, thanks to him, we've worked out that we've got enough. This is the first time I've ever dealt with any failure on any aircraft, by the way, and I'm still learning the 737. We're going to see what happens. Lego plant, it's just in the PMDG 737. You can turn it on and off if you want. You can turn the rotate announcement on. You can basically turn a lot of the sort of call outs from the first officer on and off as you wish. to suit your preference. That's cheating, yes, it is a little bit. I'll take it. I'll take the criticism. Navigraph then, as we climb away to the unknown. We're heading up to Grim at the moment, and then Suki and Swan transitioning out of the star. We're passing transition now, so let's just hit standard pressure. Flight level 270. Make sure our heading bug is reset to our correct thing just before I continue with the charts. Put that collar onto 10. So from Swan, which is there, we're going to continue all the way on this airway, Quebec 419, over Kennedy, JFK to Deer Park. From Deer Park, we want to be at flight level 190 at Deer Park, and then 11,000 feet at Madison, and then there's the airfield there, Windsor Locks, Connecticut, Bradley International. ILS 06 is what's to be expected, so from Penna, Janid, Honey and Jetix. You can see at Penna 3,000 feet, Janid 2,400, and then Honey 1,800. ILS frequency treble 11, we might as well tune that in now in the standby box. Treble 11, and in the course 058. Nav 1 and Nav 2.
Baltimore area traffic, November 819 for Juliet departing Tipton, heading northeast. Tipton, Baltimore traffic.
There we go. So 058, 058. Missed approach, climb to 4,000, left turn, direct BAF, VOR and hold. Approach, what have we got here? That's that one. There's the chart, so we've got the longer and the wider runway, which is particularly ideal for us, and we'll taxi back to one of the stands. I forget which one Doc said I should park at. I'll pin it, try and remember. Madison 1141. There's also Barnes VOR, but that's in grey. I won't worry about that one too much. What have we got? 1104. Actually, that was for the missed approach, wasn't it? So let's tune it. 1130. Okay.
Bay Bridge traffic light, Sport 5 Hotel, Victor City, final runway 29 on Bay Bridge.
Oh, we've got New York Center online now. 125325.
Hit your flip flop on 22.8.
One 25325. Tune to them for a minute.
New York Center, good morning, airship. American 1300, 27.6, climbing flight level 310. American 1300, good morning, New York Center, squawk 7157.
Pushback, yeah, it's
American 1300.
Navigraph. Kevin's got a direct to Deer Park. Oh, I don't want a Mayday.
American 1300, radar contact 3 mil.
It kind of worries me that we're going to cause, but I don't want to cause chaos, so hopefully we've got a nice bit of separation from everybody.
High position checks and 0.75 American 1300. United 1946, same Mach number.
We're at
it's Connecticut. I'm trying to find Bradley.
Mach 0.72.
Say again, Mach number.
0.72. We're back at conversion. We're at 272.
There's Bradley. Right, okay. So that's that. In fact, Bradley is out of New York Center's airspace. So hopefully we're going to be okay there. Swamp, do you reckon this aircraft will get CPDLC? You're not sure. It will in the future, Land O'Lakes is saying. There's going to be an EFB that will come in the future as well, don't forget. So, flight level 270.
In US Air 2115, proceed direct Big E, climb and maintain, flight level 220.
Go max 70.
Good, Big E, flight level 220, US Air.
Time to go 35, it's telling us. What's the failures? Aircraft failures. $22.
And New York United 1946.
United
1st of May for a May Day.
We can increase speed if necessary.
Negative, it looks like we got good spacing for now, thank you.
Okay.
I'm worried about the guys behind you.
That's gonna be us then.
They were counting on you to sort it. You can do whatever you want from American 1300. I'm capable of it all.
United 1946, increase Mach 0.75 is able.
Mach 0.75, United.
American 1300, clear direct Deer Park.
Direct Deer Park, American 1300.
But it's like a really nervous few minutes, isn't it? And at the moment, all is well. The thing is, we're tracking this on landing rate monitor as well. So I'd imagine we're going to go for a firm landing.
1770, good morning, New York Center, squawk 7141.
Squawk 7141 for Delta 77.
Matthew, we do want a real pilot see you to this guy. Legopad, will this get you banned on VATSIM? No, because some of the aircraft are designed to have random failures associated with it. It's more of a question of how you deal with it. That's all it is. So you can't just call a VATSIM and everything else. You can't just call emergencies for the sake of it. But if one does trigger, you have to be able to fly the plane and everything else as well. It's as long as you do it properly, that's all it is. But also, I mean, kind of the unwritten rule is you don't do it into an event. Because if you're doing it into an event, you're just going to cause chaos, and they'll tell you to disconnect or cancel the emergency. American 1300, everybody's listening out for that one then. Keep an ear open for any hands off. So the engine overheat failure will pretty much hit us when we get to about 10 minutes to go, 10 minutes to landing. So we'll be into our descent towards Deer Park, and I'm hoping at that point we'll have just gone beyond New York Center's airspace.
New York Center, Endeavour 1331, level 270.
Hopefully the folk in front are going above Mach 0.70, so we get a bit of separation. The folk behind don't catch up too quick. There are a couple of people.
1331 radar contact 13 miles southwest of Woodstown. Same Mach number.
Position checks were Mach 0.79.
Endeavour 1331 reduce Mach 0.75 for spacing.
0.75 for spacing, Endeavour 1331.
Delta 1770, clear direct Deer Park.
Correct, Deer Park, Delta 1770.
New York Center, good morning to you. United 1840, flight level 270, inbound, MyFod. MyFu.
United 1840, New York Center, good morning, squawk 7140.
Squawk 7140, United 1840. Banco, been to America a lot, yes.
United 1840, radar contact 30 miles southwest of Woodstown. Welcome.
Morning. Jeff wants to see a YouTube live streamer feature where viewers can donate money to trigger failures. Matthew, somebody just got absurdly loud. It wasn't me, was it? United 1840. Okay, BDL for the METAR, winds 030 at 8 knots, variable between 340 degrees and 060 degrees. I'm going to write this down actually. 030 at 8, 340, variable 060, few clouds, 25,000 feet, wow. 14 degrees Celsius, dew point -1, so the air's unsaturated, and altimeter 3014 inches of mercury. And
Down at 1840, same Mach number.
Mach decimal 70, United 18.
Thank you.
Every time I try to activate the 146's autopilot, the plane would go into a hard over right-hand bank. Not sure why, but I'd given up. That's not good. Jeff, $2 for a low tyre. I'd still be under immense amount of stress. I'm not sure if I'd be a fan of that.
Good morning, New York Center, Blue Street 10.
Okay, let's have a look here.
Level 320.
We're going to go for flap 15.
Good morning, New York Center.
So we're going to be coming in hot as well. Thing is, I don't think I'm great. I don't think I'm particularly familiar with transferring fuel over. I'm going to set this now because I know, well, eventually that's probably what we're going to set. And in the heat of the stress of the moment, I might forget. So it's a little extra reminder for me when we get a little bit closer, just to let me know.
Blue Street 1056, radar contact 25 miles southwest of the Woodstown VOR. Same Mach number.
Blue Street 1056, Mach 8.2.
Well, it's basically telling the ILS, or telling the aeroplane, that that is the course you want to fly for the ILS approach, effectively. So it's an absolute must. Otherwise, it won't know what to sort of follow. Akeem, hello. Am I a real-world 737 pilot? Your voice is so calming. Thank you very much. No, I'm not. All I can fly is a very small aeroplane at the moment in real life. 3014. Which is 1020.
Blue Street 1056, clear direct Deer Park.
Direct Deer Park, Blue Street 1056, thank you.
I'm going to put the data in for the descent forecast. We've still got a little while before top of descent, thankfully. In fact, it's just after Deer Park. Really? That can't be right. Right, so we need to put a constraint in. Expect flight level 190. And then it's going to have to recalculate everything. And top of descent just after JFK. Probably where this thing's going to hit us.
Endeavour 1331 fly, heading 050 for spacing.
050 for traffic, Endeavour 1331.
Okay, that's configured. Deer Park 3, ILS 06. Fixed ring, let's put one in. ILS, what have we got here? So 10 DME from... What are we 10 DME from, actually?
United 1946, cross Deer Park, flight level 190.
We'll do BDL.
Cross Deer Park, flight level 190.
KBDL, sorry. We'll do a 10-mile fixed ring. And if I do a 20-mile fixed ring as well, it will give us, I'll know then we'll be near Penna. We've got to be at 3,000 foot by that 20-mile fixed ring. I guess this is going to be me trying to manage all the systems as things start to go wrong. And by the way, there's no guarantee that when we get to the timer for the engine overhead thing, basically, yeah, when the timer hits 0 for this engine overheat / potential engine fire failure that we've got armed at the moment, it's counting down. There's no guarantee that at that moment it's going to trigger. It could trigger anywhere around that.
American 1300, cross Deer Park, flight level 190. Cross Deer Park, flight level 190, American 1300. American 1300, 280 knots or greater in transition. 280 or better in the transition, American 1300.
So interestingly, my performance calculator isn't allowing me to calculate laps 15. Though actually, there we go. It's giving us an approach speed of 138. And it's saying auto brake 2, in fact. Laps 15 with auto brake 2 will get us stopped with 1,300 meters left. Auto brake 3 up to 2,000 meters. So
US Air 2115, cross Clipper 12,000, 250 knots.
Well, let's have a look here. What's the runway length?
3011.
2,000.
Cross Clipper 12,000, 250 knots.
Right, well, we use auto brake 3 instead of auto brake max, I think. So we're already working through our pre-descent checks. So we've got our destination weather. Landing altitude's been set in the box. We've checked that up here, 200 feet. By the way, you'll know if I'm going to get stressed when this happens, because I will stop talking very much. Well, with you guys, I'll stop talking so much, but I'm going to be wholeheartedly engrossed in dealing with this failure, because I want a successful landing. That's the name of the game. Got to start the clock. Oh well. Try to vacate a hotel.
Delta 1770.
Alpha Max, absolutely.
Park, flight level 190 at 250 knots.
We'll cross Deer Park at flight level 190 at 250 knots. Delta 1770.
Let's just check the rest of this data while we've got a moment of calm. Going to clear the departure charts from IAD. We don't need those. Less things to click with Navigraph. So Deer Park, and then it's Madison, expect 11,000.
1840, fly heading 050 for traffic.
Heading 050 for traffic, United 1840.
Endeavour 1331, reduced Mach 0.73.
Mach 0.73, Endeavour 1331.
Two pennies.
United 1946, leaving my airspace. Boston Center is closed.
That's because that's a hold.
Sorry, you're about Boston. Over to Unicom, 1946, thanks.
It's active. We could skip it, we could get rid of it. And then we could put Janid.
New York Center, United 722, flight level 30.
ABS Geo has been on this flight in real life, very nice.
Yeah, it's 722 New York Center, squawk 7137.
Squawk
Descending 40, so quarter break 3.
Blue Streak 1056 cross Bradley, cross Deer Park, flight level 190.
Deer Park, flight level 190, Blue Streak 1056.
So, arrival and weather data obtained and set. Destination weather obtained. Oh, blown up. Fantastic to hear. Thank you. Good to know.
United 1840, descend and maintain, flight level 230.
Descend maintain, flight level 230, United 1840.
American 1300, leaving my airspace. Boston Center is closed, frequency change approved. Over to Unicom, you have a great day, American 1300. See you!
Okay, so we've got a bit of a new cruise. Let's change to 2300 on the overhead. Actually, we're not going to, because we're not climbing any further. I'm getting different things confused here, because I know there's a failure coming. Oh dear.
Number 1331, descend and maintain, flight level 190, 250 knots.
250 knots, flight level 190 for Endeavour 1331.
Arsene, no, this is
Deer Park for you shortly.
Microsoft Flight Simulator. Doctor on board. How ironic, because one of the engines is about to get shredded. See ya.
United 722, radar contact, 36 miles southwest of Woodstown. Welcome.
Thanks for the welcome, United 722.
Will you raise a pan call when the engine problem occurs? Initially, no. I'm going to deal with the incident first. So, aviate, navigate, communicate are the three major principles. So, if for whatever reason something goes wrong and we have to, we just got to deal with flying the plane. Fly the plane, make it safe. Deal with the checklist, make sure we're navigating properly. Even if we have to just ditch the flight plan route, for whatever reason, then so be it, but we're going to intend to leave it on LNAV for a little while, or heading select.
Delta 1770, leaving my airspace. Boston Center is closed, frequency change approved.
Does it sound like you have an answer if you aren't doing it right?
2 Mike Golf, radar contact, 5 miles southwest of Smyrna. Descend via Corey 4 arrival.
Send via Corey 4 for 2 Mike Golf.
Endeavour 1331, proceed direct Deer Park. Resume the Deer Park 3 arrival.
Resume the arrival direct Deer Park for Endeavour 1331.
Is that tranquil? Oh no. Counted down for me. Even that chime has made me panic a little bit. Oh god.
United 1840, descend and maintain, flight level 190, 250 knots.
Descend maintain, flight level 190, 250 knots, United 1840.
United 722, clear direct Deer Park.
Clear direct Deer Park, United 722.
US Air 2115, leaving my airspace. Potomac approach is closed, frequency change approved. Come now, US Air 7115,
I'm so stressed right now, it's unreal. Flight level 190, wasn't it? That's what we wanted. I wonder if it's engine failure, can it be more vibration? Who knows? ODG John.
Number 1331, leaving my airspace. Boston Center is closed. Frequency change approved.
Over advisory. Thanks for your help. Have a great day. 1331.
Okay, so we're in descent now anyway. So let's have a little look. We're going to make sure we've got treble 11, treble 1.
Street 1056, best forward speed.
1.
Okay, we'll speed it up. Blue Streak 1056. And we're going to start our descent
058,
in about
058.
3 minutes.
We're on descent with ATC with a speed constraint of 250 at the moment.
United to 1840. I'm going to keep on this heading a little bit longer. I need to get the blue streak in front of you.
Yeah, no problem at all, United 1840. Yeah, next weekend, Tom, hopefully. Minimum set. Is it Barrow 371? Let's just check this. Check the data. 373 for Cat 1 ILS. .373. 3014 for the Barrow. Approach briefed. Water brake is set. Minimum set, altimeter set as well.
New York, Blue Street 1056, vacating 320 for Deer Park at 190.
Blue Street 1056, thank you.
Yes, I do indeed. Oh, I could quite imagine one of these days it's going to trigger it, isn't it? Oh God. Every noise now. MD-11 would be quite cool, ODG John, absolutely.
You've cleared to the Denver Airport. Newark 4 departure, radar vector is Gale, then is filed.
Let's enjoy a couple of views from the wing before we get so full on with this.
10 minutes after. Departure with me, squawk 7171.
Ooh.
7171.
That airport is...
9501, squawk readback is correct. Expect runway 22 right at whiskey. It is information Bravo.
Philly?
It is information Alpha.
That is Newark. Which means, on t'other side, JFK. Okay, well, now I've got to get a screenshot of New York. We're going over Manhattan. There we go, look at that. Absolutely mega. There's Central Park. I don't want to spend too long in here because I'm worried that I'm going to miss something.
Boston Center is closed, frequency change approved.
Okay, Blue Street 1056, we'll go back over to Unicom. Thanks for the ATC.
Good stuff, yes, we've got service-based failures enabled as well at the moment. Seatbelt signs on. Raheim, no idea yet. Howdy doody, 737 will come in the future, yes.
United 1840, turn right, direct Deer Park, resume the Deer Park 3 arrival.
Direct Deer Park and resume Deer Park 3 as arrival at United 1840. I'm going to start the turn now anyway. We're going to go into the box. We're going to go active route legs. Deer Park. LNAV. I feel like I want to check the timings.
United 1840, leaving my airspace. Boston Center is closed. Frequency change approved.
Okay, thanks for the ATC. United 1840, g'day. Oh my god, it's literally just triggered. Overheats. Okay, 122.8. What have we got? So, engine overheat warning lights illuminated. Let's go to the QRH. Engine 2 is showing overheat, I think. Auto throttle. Disengage. Thrust lever, affected engine. Confirm closed. Auto throttle, disarm, reset. Where's my fire panel? Doesn't really give us any stuff, does it? Where am I looking here? There we go. Engine 2 overheat, stays illuminated. Go to the engine fire checks. Auto throttle disengaged, thrust lever, affected engine 2 confirm. It's still overheating actually, and it's getting hotter and hotter, good grief. Engine start lever, confirm, cut off. Engine 2's now dead. Engine fire switch, confirm. Pull.
Bradley International traffic, Pushback 1056 is overhead
Rotate.
Deer Park and Deer Park 3 arrival, landing runway 6, Bradley International.
Engine 2 overheat remains extinguished, well on, sorry, we need to check it in 30 seconds, so we're counting the timers. Mayday, 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 United 1840, flight level 190, engine failure number 2, en route Bradley International, sending Deer Park. That's like crazy timing. Okay, what do we want to do? We need to go Deer Park. We're going to descend 11,000 Madison. I'm going to start descent now. In fact, let's leave it in VNAV. Is it going to give us VNAV actually? We'll go, you know what, we'll go vertical speed. Still on. Still got engine fire warnings. Bottles discharged. Engine 2 overheat is still active as well. So, I mean, this is tough because we're having to do two things now. Fly the plane and manage the fire. Engine fire switch, rotate to the hole and hold for 1 second. It's already discharged. Rotate to the other stop.
1056. What's your position and altitude?
And hold.
In front of you?
5 miles south Deer Park, correction, north of Deer Park, and descending 18,000 for 11,000 in en route Madison, Deer Park 3 arrival. Expecting ILS 06.
Okay, we'll give way. I'll do a 360 here. I think I've got you out in front of me on my TCAP.
Roger, thank you. Choose one. High airframe vibration occurring. Well, actually, vibrations. You see it? Vibrations are 0. 0.6 for the other one, that's fine. Does not occur after the engine. Go to step 7. Isolation valve needs to go to the open position. Packs on the affected side off. APU bleed switch is off. And APU is available for start. So APU start, run. When APU gen is, when APU is running, APU gen switch to on. So we don't need to do very much at the moment. In fact, I do need to idle the throttles because we are quite fast.
Charlie traffic, Pushback 1056 is going to make a left 360 and rejoin the arrival. Give way to the aircraft with the emergency.
The autopilot's still working, Jeff, so we're okay at the moment. This is exactly why single pilot ops will never happen, because something will go wrong and it's, yeah, a failure will trigger. Let's reset the master caution in case we get another one. We're waiting for the APU to stabilise at the moment. 11,000 at Madison is what we want. Get this collar whacked across here, and we're going to reset this. Now we've got a bit more time. Let's set .7700 on the transponder. Gonna get rid of the music. The calm tones, but utter carnage going on at the moment. Let's see what's see what we've got. The beauty of something that the aircraft pilots can't do in real life is check the status from the outside. We've extinguished it. We've used 2 discharged bottles, and it's just spinning away with the air. But we've taken an element of fuel out, haven't we? That's the thing. We've taken the fuel out. 7.5 taken alive. 7.6 radio sticks. 7.7 going to heaven. the easiest way to remember it. Okay, back to the QRH. APU gen on the affected side, turn on. Balance fuel as needed. The crossfeed on, I guess. Transponder mode onto TA only. In the climb commands. Isolation valve after the fire has been extinguished on auto. The problem is, well, I think it's been extinguished. Put it back on. Oops. Open. Do want to bleed the APU now, though, I think, don't we? Reset master caution. We need Doom music playing right now. Plan to land at the nearest suitable airport and now go to 1 engine in-op landing checklist. Plan for a flaps 15 landing. Red over red. We do need some super dramatic music now, don't we? What have we got here? We got press the 10 call for the crew briefing. Set VREF of 50, plus 15, or VREF 15, or VREF ICE. So init ref, index, approach, lap 15, 135. Actually, we'll just leave it on auto. 135 plus 15. 150. That gives us, I guess, some assistance with speeds and things. Auto throttle's off, so I'm controlling the plane at the moment. We've got low oil pressure on the runway. Check the non-normal configuration landing distance in the table. I'm going to assume that we've done that. Maintain VREF 15 plus wind addictive. VREF wind addictive.
Descending through 9,000 inbound, Bradley.
I'm going to get my charts because I want to go direct now to airport Penna 3000. Let's start the descent further. Go direct Briss actually. Rally traffic made a United 1840 going direct Briss, then Penna. For the approach runway 06, we'll report Penna. Engine number 2 is on fire.
And Endeavour 1331, we'll go ahead and hang on, keep an eye on you on TCAS. We'll go to the hold if needed.
Yeah, we'll go, thank you. I'll try to be out of the way in a second. Oh, we're going to hold my speed a little low because I want to, as we're going direct, I want to make sure that we've got enough rate of descent. 058, 058. 058, let's go 1 and 2 for the nav. Caution, elect. Standby 2 is on. It's generating. That is off anyway. Dual bleed. That's open. Right pack's off. Engine 2 bleed off. Check speed. Checklist complete except deferred items. Descent checklist, pressurization, landing altitude has set. Auto brake set 3. Landing data, VREF 15 plus VREF plus 15, 150 knots for approach. Approach briefing is completed, and we're going to make sure we have additional go around thrust as well. APU switch, APU bleed, sorry, needs to make sure it's off for the fire. And we are QNH 1034. We're below 10,000. Let's get the landing lights on, runway turn lights on. A final ding for the cruise. Do 800 foot per minute, 900 foot per minute roughly. Go around procedure. Do the normal go around procedure except use flaps 1. Maintain VREF 15 plus 5 or VREF ice plus 5 until reaching flap retraction. Limit bank angle to 15 degrees when airspeed less than VREF plus 15. Accelerate to flaps 1 maneuvering speed before flap retraction. Landing checklist. Engine start, select switches on. The operating engine. Speed brake. Arms. Landing gear down. Flaps 15 green light. This is great because the QRH is giving me the checklist that I need. We're going to change the bug now to 180. Christopher, we've done that already. Down there, 7700 on the transponder. Wonder what I'm appearing as at the moment on the VATSIM network. Voice equals calm, hands equals valid. I'm going to have a gin and tonic later. Like, fantastic. You know what? This is where flying the CRJ comes in really handy because that doesn't have an auto throttle and neither does the BAE 146, which is what we've been flying for a little bit recently too. Let's go direct Penner.
Bradley traffic, 3656 on the Deer Park 3 arrival, descending across.
Oh, good. I thought, I wondered why we didn't have that on.
In the descent,
Engine 2 is switched down. And the other thing, by the way, I've got the Turtle Beach Velocity 1 throttle, by the way, with the 4 quadrants, and it allows me to literally use that one on its own. So auto brake 3, we're going to use reverse thrust for landing as well, and actually we're going to go to 800 feet per minute. We're going direct to Jenna. 700, 600 per minute might do. Let's put a bit of power in. Thought we didn't do emergencies. Well, the beauty of this is we've got an aircraft that can do them very well. 058. 028 for 30 degrees intercept. Okay, so I'm not using my own checklist now. APU, well, the APU's on at the moment. We've got engine 1 only, and that's showing both bottles discharged for 1 and 2. And we've pulled for the engine fire as well. Need a bit more throttle. We've got an aircraft at Penner ahead, so we're going to allow ourselves to just slow down a little bit. He is 20 miles ahead of us though, which is fine. That's a nice bit of separation for us actually. Ocean, welcome on board. Keep smashing the like button, folks, while you're here. Hopefully you are enjoying this. We're putting the PMDG 737 through its paces, and we have an engine overheat / fire engine 2. Thankfully, the rudder, well, we've got the yaw damper on at the moment, look, so it's out of centre. But that's doing it for us. We could perhaps, you know, we could potentially add a bit of rudder trim in if we wanted to, but I'm not going to complicate things too much. Okay, let's now aim to slow down a little bit more. Jan, yeah. Engine 2, failure, overheat into a fire.
Bradley traffic, Endeavour 1331. We're 4 miles from Janet, inbound ILS. Bradley.
That's all good. It's on. We're going to guys. We've got APU powering Gen 2 or bus 2 for the right hand side. APU bleeds off. Isolation valves. Right packs are off. Do an extra bit of ding for the crew. Let them know. This is my first sim emergency. Thankfully we've got the aeroplane that can simulate it remarkably well. So we are on our way in with one engine. Engine one only, so we're going to expect right drift. We're going to have to correct for that potentially on the approach. And we're going to go for the ILS initially, but then we're going to spin it around. We'll hand fly the remainder ourselves. We've got one engine only. Flaps up speed is coming up. So I'm going to try and hold that if I can. Speed brakes armed, auto brake set, so that's good. I've already gone through those checks. We don't need more. Don't worry, I'm not harsh judge, Matthew. Thank you. I'm going to stop here and watch. You know what? You can tell I've kind of lost a little bit here in the live chat. Enrique, hello. Just finished flying the Leonardo MD-82. Very nice. How was it? How are we doing on the fuel actually? We've got a bit of an imbalance, haven't we? Don't really know how to move them across on this except for using crossfeed. I guess we do leave crossfeed on in this instance, right?
Route the traffic number 1331, 5 mile final, runway 6.
That's him. Anna. Next step. We're at 3,000, we want about 2,000 then from Janed. ODD John, the rudder trim is back here. This is it. We could tune 121.5 in nav in sort of COM 2, which is the emergency frequency, but we don't need it. How's the speed? Looking good. Altitude acquired, which means we're going to need more speed on engine 1 to hold our airspeed, otherwise we risk running too slow. Okay, so we leave the crossfeed on then in that case. Crossfeed out, then turn off the pumps on the low tank. Ah, brilliant.
Charlie traffic, Delta 770, vacating runway 6.
So we can turn that one off.
Charlie traffic.
Bradley traffic, Endeavour 1331, 2 mile final, runway 6, full stop, Bradley.
Lovely. Clear that. That was intentional. That was us. Let's add a bit more fuel in. Add a bit more power, I should say. $2,000's next. There's glide slope already.
Charlie traffic, Delta 77, crossing runway 15.
We'll do 25 actually.
Charlie traffic.
Friendly traffic.
Go heading select. I'm approach mode.
Copy, sir.
Okay. 400 foot per minute. So heading select on 028, 30 degree intercept. We're going for approach mode armed at the moment, and
And Bradley traffic, Endeavour 1331, clear runway 6, Bradley.
okay, go flaps 5. It's empty B armed. Oh, I can try and catch this. There are 5-8. You can see the autopilot struggling here. Bradley traffic made a United 1840, established 11 mile final, 06 to land. Laps 10. Get gear down. There's the airport. Final check of the overheads. It's 15, let's get the power in here. Extra drag, we want 150 knots. We're holding that now. And we're at flaps 15, so we're configured. Glide slope is armed. Can you do auto land from cockpit, not passenger view, please, Chris? Certainly will be. Bit more power. So, 15, stable. Gear down, locked, auto brake 3. Speed brake is armed, and we've got the warning light there telling us that it is as well. Speed's looking okay, maybe a little bit below. Let's add a bit more power. We're at almost 90% M1 here to try and hold 150. I have no idea how this is going to go. It's going to be interesting. How washed out this is with the sun. Flaps not at 40, tick. Here we go. Can't spend too long outside because there's a lot going on inside, and look, the speed's crept up. Jacka, welcome. So, one engine landing. Is the outer marker. I think we're going to need about 50% N1, I think. Okay. Autopilot off. Just going to make sure I've got control of this before I do start to play around a little bit. Oops. So I'm using a little bit of left rudder because the aeroplane's trying to push us to the right. So we need a bit of left rudder to stay coordinated, as Matthew's saying there. We're going to try and keep the wings level, and we're going to try and fly this nicely. A bit more power. We're at 70% N1, 80% N1, just to hold the speed. Still using quite a bit of left rudder, a lot of left rudder to be fair. See the yoke. Wow. Now the wind's just updated to a headwind. Oh no, now it's a big crosswind. Oh, it's really variable. We've got wind shear.
500.
Speed's looking good. Reverse as normal on touchdown.
400. 300. Approaching minimum.
One engine. Little bumpy. Doing it.
Minimums. 100. 50. 30.
Oh, there goes the power.
20.
Oh, bit of a flare. We are fast though.
10.
Reverse. Green. Bit of left, right rudder now.
Done.
And off on the brakes. Oh. Oh my god. Well, that felt very real for a minute there. That was really nice.
You need to come sit next to me.
Thanks. Bradley traffic, United 1840, vacate at hotel, taxi to gates. And we're cool. Thanks, I could do with that. Oh, don't even know where we're parking now, I'm so stressed. I need to go left here. Jolo, that was the landing rate monitor from the FS Hub guys that we use for our virtual airline. Flaps retract. Mike, you don't need your parachute. We're proper pros. We got it down. Look at those spoiler animations. And there's the proof. One engine. Right, let's get runway turn lights off, taxi lights on, landing lights off, boss lights to steady, and I think the fire's out, thankfully, otherwise we would have stopped. No replay, Lorenz, sadly. Yeah, asymmetric thrust, Jeff. It was, you know what? That was a handful to fly on approach, but surely a testament to how good the 737 is, right? I mean, usually I like a bit of talking on approach, but I feel like I was so focused on that all I was thinking was speed and our attitude, our position relative to our approach, making sure we got down. And I guess the flap 15 approach, first time I've done that as well. Maybe I could have idled a little bit earlier to try and take a bit more. Taxi Charlie Sierra at Alpha 21. Thanks, Doc. More importantly, the passengers can breathe. Okay, what have we got here? After landing, flaps are up. Still got a bit of asymmetric thrust because we're on one engine. Speed brake. Disarmed. Transponder as required. Put it on standby because we are squawking 7700. Auto brake is off. We've done the lights. APU is started, so we're going to have to put it on bleeds. Where's me maps? Now, interestingly, that shouldn't be there. It's not on my charts anyway.
Bradley traffic, Blue Street 1056, Tina inbound 06, Bradley.
We are going to cross. I'm not going to call because there is an aircraft on approach on the other runway. We're just going to have a quick look. There we go. That'll do. Straight to maintenance, absolutely. Alpha 21 is in the cul-de-sac. Stand by. Where's my taxi lines to get in here? There it is. Oh look, we're this way. Jay's got it recorded. Awesome. Blown up, yeah. TUI tomorrow. TUI Belgium. We're going to be going from Marrakesh Menara with a really nice, perfect soft studios Menara airport scenery, the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we're then going to be heading back to Aerosoft Brussels. We're going to arrive with a beautiful VDGS there as well. Yep, it's Fly Live Studio, although it breaks quite often. Jay, I look forward to seeing it. Hopefully it's in Discord. El Bapino, hello buddy. When will this plane be available? Very soon. Weird. Looks like the servers are playing up again. We're going to do Alpha 21. We'll try and get a screenshot of everybody. flew along today. The TUI livery that we're using tomorrow, folks, is it hasn't been seen before. It's not been used in any streams or anything like that. It is a really special little preview for you folks, pre-release for the PMDG 737, and I'm really excited, honoured in fact, that the painter Steve has asked if I'd like to show it to you guys. Absolutely, of course I said yes. And also, point of note, this scenery, the last time I flew in here, we were using the fly-by-wire A32NX, if you remember, and we had lots of stutters, and this is really smooth. Okay, right, so engine 2's failed anyway. We're going to go park brake on, start switch for that. Engine 1 off, make sure we've got NPU Gen 1 on. Anti-collision lights. Oh, by the way, if anybody's not seen the maintenance vehicle before, we can call it. That's all the servicing. Chock set. Maintenance van request. We're going to go, where is it? Return. Ground services. Jetway. We're going to set boarding to 0. Ready for deplaning. We're going to request the loaders and the carts. There's the maintenance truck. Hello, Centurio. There she is. He's not too pleased. There's the baggage loaders. We got anyone on approach? Or have I missed everybody? Probably missed everybody, haven't I? Let's see what we can do for a little angle here. This is Latin VFR's Bradley International scenery. Oh look, there's the baggage carts. Love it. Dirty 2, thank you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. First simulated failure with the PMDG 737. I think it did remarkably well. Okay, they're here. So what we can do is we can do target of 0 for both of these. We're going to unload the aircraft basically. And when the carts arrived, now that's interesting. E-plane start is an option.
Friendly traffic.
Oh, I know why.
56 is clear 6 on Kilo, taxiing back to.
Got to open the door.
We'll cross 33.
Doors left. We're going to request ground services. Cabin cleaners. Oh yes, Centurio, of course, you were in the police helicopter yesterday. How was it? How cool is that? Let's try and turn the drone camera up here a little bit. If you guys want any tutorials for the PMDG 737 covering all the basics to help you get started, then do check out my website, britishavgeek.com, and the checklists are on there too. Yeah, Centurio, we've just done a simulated engine overheat and fire with an emergency landing into BDL. Ah, so we're all spread out everywhere. Let's see what I can do with pictures. Matthew, exactly. I thought they would do it for me.
On approach, runway 06.
Oh, we have got a few more on approach. Wonderful. We get to watch some landings. Right, jump back in. There we go, deplane, start. So we're going to lose the 127 passengers. And we can also start unloading the cabin bags as well. We've got the maintenance van here. So what we can do is go to ground maintenance and we can refill the fire bottles. And we can do like reset engine EGTs. We can do all of this. But in fact, if you go to PMDG setup, options, simulate, oops, sorry, aircraft, failures, 5 failures active. Look at that. We actually did have an engine 2 fire with a hydraulic leak. So we can clear all. Exec. And we can see now that's cleared. Maintenance. See, it's already counting down for the next service as well. Got 2 hours off the top of that. How about that, folks? How cool is that? Who have we got taxiing in? Here we go. They've just gone straight through the wing.
Traffic United 722 aligned with the ILS runway 06 16 miles.
Let's watch some landings. Are there any passenger sound effects? Well, actually, with the landing rate monitor, you can set passenger screams, which is quite cool. Maybe we could find a way to do that for the next time we do a simulated emergency. Look at this. Beautiful. Some C-130s, Hercules. Position ourselves ready. Explosive, awesome stream. You handled that emergency incredibly well. Thank you, buddy. I've never done one in any sim ever. Jim, welcome. Question. So they've hinted that they're hoping to have it ready for release this coming weekend. So super exciting. We're hoping it's going to come then. Maybe Friday. That'd be great, wouldn't it? So you guys can all enjoy it over the weekend. Well done on coping with your engine problems and a 15-degree flap approach. Excellent results. I guess part of it is not chasing the flare. So we flared a little bit too keenly, didn't we? And I guess instead of pushing the nose forwards, you just have to hold it, which is what my instructor taught me with the PA-28. So I just assumed it'd be similar here. Alf Mags, no worries, buddy. Hope you enjoyed it. If only these things are easy to fix in real life, absolutely. We'd be getting towed to the hangar, wouldn't we? What we can do is have a little look at the window again. So I kind of was using a little bit of this as well. I don't think I've turned my beacon and stuff off, have I? Oh no, I have. Me. Happy days. Isolation valve is already open from the emergency. And engine 1 blinked off. And the flight directors can come off. That was the first time manually hand flying the whole thing as well. Anyway, the QRH was this, so...
Thought I'd just donate for Ramadan. Stream's been amazing.
Jaden, thank you very much, buddy, and hope you're having a great Ramadan. Really appreciate the super chat, very kind of you. This is the quick reference handbook that I was mentioning earlier prior to the engine failure that we did, and we had the engine overheat warning illuminate. So we go to the page, we can see in the fast switches we had engine 2 overheat illuminated. So an overheat is detected in the engine. So we disengaged the auto throttle and we closed engine 2's thrust lever. So thrust lever engine 2, confirm engine 2, thrust lever closed. The engine overheat lights stayed illuminated, so for that reason we had to go to the next step, which is this one, engine fire, or severe engine damage. So auto throttle disengage, thrust lever, we confirmed again it was closed, and engine start lever, we then go engine 2, confirm engine 2, cut off, so we cut the engine off and shut it down. Engine fire switch, confirm pull, and it stayed illuminated. So we then rotated to 1 stop, held for a second to extinguish the fire, or at least attempt to. Then after 30 seconds, it remained illuminated, so we rotated it the other way and held for another second. We didn't have any high airframe vibration. So for that reason, we skip all of that little bit there, and we go to step 7. So we close the isolation valve. We turned pack 2 off, or the right pack off, and it says here this causes the operating pack to regulate to high flow in flight with flaps up. So it basically told the left pack to speed up and do more work, and then APU bleed. I turned it on by accident, but then I reread the QRH and I turned it off subsequently. Followed that, APU was available for start, so we started it. APU's running. Gen switch for the affected side, so the right gen for APU turn on, and then go to steps 11, which you guys helped me with rather gratefully. We turned crossfeed on basically, and then Matthew pointed out turn the 2 left pumps off to balance the aircraft. Transponder mode to TA only with squawk 7700 at that point. We flew the plane, made sure we were navigating properly, knew where we were going and everything like that, came up with a bit of a plan, then we squawked 7700 and announced a mayday as well. Isolation valve, after the fire has been extinguished, to auto, and then plan to land at the nearest suitable airport. And the QRH then says, don't use FMC fuel predictions, go to 1 engine in-op landing checklist. So we click that, go straight to it, plan a flat 15 landing, set VREF plus 15, and if you've got icing as well, VREF plus 15 plus 10. And then we just work through. And it says checklist complete except for deferred items. So we scrolled down to the deferred checklist and we just went through a couple of these very quickly. So we did pressurization, auto brake 3, landing data VREF 15, and we completed our approach there. Here comes a touchdown. Keep smashing that like button, guys, when you get here as well. Doctor on board, you've done more than I've done on a 737. I've not done any failures yet. Well, I guess we just threw ourselves into it, but it shows you how detailed it all is as well. Because you guys have now seen us do a live engine failure and engine fire during a flight. Matthew, by the way, is a real CRJ captain. In green, one of our channel members in the chat. Had to shut down one in flight. Flight was supposed to be an hour. We took an hour to return to our departure airport. Had a passenger that didn't speak English. I sometimes wonder how long it took him to realise he wasn't at his destination. Look at that. Beautiful touchdown. See, we were still floating at this point because I'd played a bit too keen, and we touched down about now. Then we were auto brake 3. Actually, we stopped really nicely. Captain Michael, I've not tried VR in Microsoft Flight Simulator myself. Yeah, QRH is nicely linked. I'll see if I can share the file. I'll try and find out any copyright Boeing. I'll stick it in Discord. I don't know if I can put it on the website for people to download.
Traffic, United 722,
what do you guys think?
Clear, runway 06, taxiing the gates. Over traffic.
Nice bit of work there. As he taxis in, we had that really variable wind as well. You can head over towards us. Yeah, very useful actually. The hyperlinks made it a lot easier because it was about 500 pages long, the QRH. That's probably the better angle, isn't it? Or in fact, we go towards where the prime air is. This, I think, also, thinking about it, was the first ever scenery that Latin VFR released for Microsoft Flight Simulator.
British AVG, brilliant job with the engine failure. Take my head off to you, man.
Thanks for flying along, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, Matthew, good point. It's not from Boeing, by the way. It's not from PMDG. It's not included. This is one we found online. ODG John, would I recommend it? I find performance to be quite heavy for it, to be fair. By the way, we've called all these extra bits. I want to show you guys this. We've got the maintenance van for the failure. We've got the cleaners on board. We've got the galley being done. Baggage. All going on. How good is that? All triggered by the FMC. Where's that aircraft? There he is. So he's going to park in here any second, hopefully next to us in that little bit. I'll take a screenshot. So much to learn with this 737, but it's such a complex simulation as well, and it's very rewarding to fly. And by the sounds of it, they're hoping to get it released on this coming weekend. Thank you everybody for flying along. Thank you everybody for watching as well. I hope you've all enjoyed it. First ever simulated engine failure or any emergency full stop on the channel actually. So I hope you guys have enjoyed delving into that with us with this preview of the in development PMDG 737-700 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Make sure you smash the like button before you head off. Don't forget to subscribe if you are tuning in and you're new to the channel. And I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. Join us on Discord to continue the conversation. The link's in the live chat. And tomorrow, same time, 1200 UTC, we're going to be in Marrakesh. We're going to be flying a special exclusive preview of the new TUI Belgium 737 livery. Matthew, yeah, not great at hints. Yeah, special TUI Belgium livery for a flight back to the Airlines Brussels airport as well. There we go, look at that. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers everybody.
And you.
See ya, thanks.
See you guys. Bye, everyone.